Hey everybody, welcome to 20 Sides to Every Story. Yeah, you got a little double dip there, Isaac. You got to have a couple of Loot the Body songs there. So that was Loot the Body. Yeah, they make all sorts of crazy, like old school D&D inspired songs. They've got, the reason that I found them was when we were playing Expedition of the Barrier Peaks. I was just like YouTube searching different things about Expedition of the Barrier Peaks, and it's like, wait, what? These guys have a full concept album around Expedition of the Barrier Peaks? All right, that's pretty cool. Um, yeah, we started chatting, and then they said, yeah, go ahead and use our stuff. That's fine. Um, so yeah. So welcome to 20 Sides to Every Story, and my little video disappeared. So tonight we're playing one of our community games. We do, I don't know, 3 to 4 of these each month where we play a lot of D&D on the channel, but this is our game that's really open to kind of anybody that hangs out with us and wants to play can come and jump in here and just play some kind of old school feel D&D, just stomping around in a dungeon, killing the monsters, getting the treasure, and just having some laughs. So um, these games are open really to anybody. I always let our folks that support us on Patreon kind of get the priority for the signups. So um, based on their levels of support, let them have the first chance at being in the games. But inevitably, we've always got a few spots open that really anybody can slide in. And so after the patrons have their shot, then we try to prioritize anybody who hasn't had a game yet in the month. So. I just put the link to the Patreon in the chat if you want to check that out and see what that's all about. Um, if you just want to kind of get to know us and see when the signups for these games go up, or get connected with the other people in the community, it's a great group of people that loves D&D, tabletop role-playing games, and we get into all sorts of stuff there in the Discord. We got people playing Minecraft, we got people playing um, Valheim, you name it. If you got an interest in something geeky, I'm sure um, there's going to be somebody that's going to share that interest with you. So come and join our Discord. Come hang out with us in between the streams. So what we're playing here tonight is Temple of Elemental Evil. We're playing the Original Adventures Reincarnated number 6. This is a product line from Goodman Games, and we're very privileged that Goodman Games has kind of given us the early access, I guess you could say, to kind of preview this content and be among the first to check it out and play it in its fifth edition um, rewrite. So, um, if you're interested in getting a copy of the Temple of Elemental Evil, you're right in time because pre-orders are going to start getting fulfilled um, next month. So I don't know if y'all know like how this works. They do a big order overseas in China and they print these things and then they just sit on these boats, and so that it's always hard for them to like really nail down like when people will get their books. So um, but they get the pre-orders fulfilled first, and then I would imagine that these books are going to start showing up probably in the game stores towards the end of August. So it's 2 books. It's a big product. So it's if you're looking for something that's going to keep your gaming group busy for a long time, this is the one. So yeah, I think we're on like I think this is game 11 or something like that at this point, and we've only like scratched the surface of the material. So yeah, go check that out. You can go get that out on the Goodman Games website. So go check that out. So yeah, without further ado, we'll get kind of right into where we're at here with the story. Um, our adventure here tonight is picking up on day 24 of the month of Patchwall, Common Year 591. It's been some days since the attack on Burns Tower in the town of Hamlet, the village of Hamlet, and things amongst the populace here are tense. Revelations that agents of evil had influence over the village's leaders and elders, and it has caused and created quite a bit of suspicion and distrust between neighbors. And in these previous few sessions, we learned that the tavern uh, owner, Osler Gundagoot, the owner of the Stumbling Ogre Inn, where our story is going to pick up, and his wife, Glora, had their son, Abe, taken by agents of a cult that worships the elemental power of Earth. Um, they believed that he had been taken to kind of buy their silence, but um, in the previous session, the party that dealt with the Black Earth cult, they managed to keep one of the acolytes alive and have been interrogating him. And he refers to the group that he's associated with as worshippers of the Black Earth. And he's revealed with some degree of pride in conviction and what he believes in that Abe had been taken to be a sacrifice at a temple. Um, and in the time since that has happened, other families have come forth and suggested that they too have had members of their families taken from them by this cult. And um, it's a very tense time in the village. Um, Probably further complicated by the fact that Lord Rufus has just left. The security of Hamlet had previously been under the protection of Lord Rufus and the wizard Byrne. But Byrne is currently petrified as a result of an attack by one of the elemental earth agents. Lord Rufus has now left Hamlet temporarily to attend to some political affairs in Verbabank. The Viscount of Verbabank has just recently passed away, and being a lord, Rufus has had to um, ensure that he will be in attendance to that affair. And so, before his departure, um, this was maybe 2 days ago from when we're picking up, but he gave a small speech to the villagers, assuring them that he would be reporting to Wulfric's successor, uh, Wulfric's son, Sir Fenward. And he's going to deliver news of all of the events that the adventuring parties of the past have kind of churned up. That it seems that some of the elemental evil cults maybe blossoming once again, and so he's heading to Verbabank sort of in hopes of securing some additional assistance. The help of adventurers and his mercenary group that he contracts with has been all fine and good, but it's starting to turn out that maybe this is a bigger problem than once thought, and certainly there's some urgency with wanting to reunite the families with their missing sons and daughters. And so that's just a little bit of sort of the events that are happening in and about the town. But we're beginning our session here in the morning of the 24th at the Stumbling Ogre Inn. You five have gathered together to enjoy your simple breakfast of porridge with fresh fruit, melon, apples. There are hard-boiled eggs laid out on many of the tables and roasted potatoes. These are all kind of the complimentary things that you get with what you're paying to stay here at the Stumbling Ogre Inn. Um, Coffee and juice is being passed about, and you can easily hear various rumors being passed around the tavern between local farmers and the construction crew that has been staying busy building a small castle on the southeastern side of town. Um, so right here, I think we're going to give our players a chance to introduce themselves and their characters. So give us, we'll go around the virtual table here. Um, Yoragria and Thorwald. We'll leave you to the end. We won't put you on the spot quite first. We'll let you go last. And just give us, yeah, name, race, class, and tell us just whatever you think the audience needs to know about your character as we get started here. So we'll start right off here with Absalom.
All right, yeah. So I'm playing Absalom today. Absalom is a level 2 rogue. He is a Goliath, which in our setting is the Oridian, I think, or Orient, but however the hell you say that.
Yep, Iridian.
And there you go. He's a tall, lanky man with lots of tattoos. He looks a bit like a pirate. He's got the bandana and the leathers, the whole look going on. He has a glass eye. His right eye is a prosthetic, and he tends to think that or at least he says that he is responsible for a lot of really great things that have happened here in Hamlet, such as the slaying of all the owlbears, the destruction of their hive, and you know, tutoring Spugnoir and teaching him everything that he knows, but also sometimes having no association with him at all. So various pieces of the Hamlet world, and so he's here trying to make a buck.
All right. Very good. Next up we have Udo.
Yeah, Udo is a level 2 fighter. He's also a Goliath, so very large, bald man in this case. And he's not very bright. He's very strong, and he knows a lot about soldiering, but not much else. He knows he likes to break stuff. He just kind of does what he's told, usually, as long as it involves breaking stuff. Uh, and did I mention he likes breaking stuff? Yeah.
Very cool. And we gotta say thanks for the raid to the Potato Lion. Our very own Jenna was streaming all day today, I understand. So thanks for thanks for everyone that's coming over with the Potato Lion. Appreciate that. Um, Yeah, so I feel like I need to like say something here because I know Gabe, you probably are like a little bit more in tune with Greyhawk than I think most of the players of the campaign. If it seems weird that our Goliaths are Iridian, it was just a tweak that I made to kind of be able to add a few different things. So the Iridians are in our campaign that we're playing here are sort of more or less like humans that have some giant ancestry, and so they're sort of cousins to humans. And so next up we have Dane.
Hi, my name's Percy. I'm playing Dane Battlehammer of the Battlehammer clan and the Griffin Slayer. In the last campaign, I lost my hearing, so I've been learning to read lips. Still in the process of learning that. So if I don't respond to you, it's not because I'm ignoring you.
And that was one of your downtime activities. So if you ever jump into this campaign, we have a thing in our Discord server where the characters that don't play in a game earn downtime to kind of explain what they're doing when the current crew is adventuring. And so Dane elected to use some of his downtime to see if he could learn that skill of lip reading to help communicate. And hello, and thank you for the follow as stage. We appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by. All right, next up we have Yoragria.
Hi, I'm Jenna. I play Yoragria, and Yoragria is a tiefling. She's a level 1 and also a druid. She has a very high curiosity, so she kind of is really quiet and likes to watch, but her curiosity will follow her possibly down like many trails of destruction. But she also tries to stay a part of the group and be where it's needed the most. It's very stealthy, so if things need to be stolen, she's very easy to swipe in there and grab that. But yeah, that's your Gria.
All right, awesome. And then next up we have Thorwald.
Hi, my name is Gabe, and I play Thorwald tonight. He is totally covered in tattoos, head to toe. It looks like a Viking, basically, and it looks like he knows his way around weapons. It's a barbarian, but he says to everybody he meets that is starting to become a paladin of Yeroneos. So I don't know if that's going to pan out, but that's what he's up to.
All right, so that's the crew here. You've all come to find one another, probably have a lot more to relate to one another as adventurers than you maybe necessarily do with some of the local folk here. And so you find yourselves at the same table enjoying a breakfast with each other. And as you're talking amongst yourselves, Rhonda, the barmaid, she stops by your table with full decanters of juice and inquires about any other orders that you might want to put in. If you've spent any amount of time here in Hamlet, surely you've um, had some interactions with Rhonda. She's very welcoming. She's a pleasant hostess and very attentive to ensuring that your bellies are full and that your cups are overflowing. And kind of while she's um, taking your orders and such, you notice that approaching your table um, is a young man who looks sort of out of place here in the tavern, which is mostly made up with farmers and laborers who um, are sitting about the tavern. And this young man, he looks. I'm just gonna ping him on the map here so you can kind of see which guy I am talking about. Um, so he looks to be maybe about 25 years of age, clean cut, handsome, and he's wearing a white cloak over his russet-colored tunic. And another distinguishing thing about him is hanging from his hip is a book that is holstered to his belt and has a religious emblem imprinted upon it in silver, one that might be familiar to some of you at this point. I'm going to pop up an image of that real quick for you. So it is, of course, the symbol of Saint Cuthbert of the Cudgel, one of the prominent, kind of more of a local deity, maybe. You probably wouldn't find St. Cuthbert worshipped widely in Orth, but is definitely has a prominent place here in Hamlet and in Verbabank. Um, and so he looks like he's interested. His eyes and his gaze are upon your table, and it's clear that he's making his way in your direction. But you watch, he seems hesitant. Um, and it seems like he's trying to collect himself into maybe motivating himself to assert himself to come talk to you. But it seems that Rhonda notices him, and she kind of waves him over, and she says, "Oh, well, hello there, Brother Calmert. Funny to see your face in here. Not that you're unwelcome. It's just, well, ain't today God's Day? I thought you St. Cuthberts would be having a sermon or something such." And you can see that the man looks like a bit uncomfortable. He bites his lip before replying, "Oh, well, yes, today is God's Day, but we conduct our services on God's Day Eve, which would be yesterday. I mean, you know it was yes. I mean, what I'm trying to say is yesterday was Moon Day, and you can see Rhonda just kind of laughs. She picks up on his nervousness and kind of gives him a little playful um, kind of shove on his shoulder, and she says, "Is that right? Yesterday was Moon Day. Oh, you know your days real well there, Brother Calmert." And he sort of blushes a bit, and he averts his gaze, and he tries to continue to explain this little bit of their religious custom, and he says, "Well, um, uh, what I mean to say is on God's Day um, is a day of."
Ah, Calvert, she's just trying to flirt with you.
And you can see he gets real flustered as soon as you interrupt, and he just stops explaining, and she laughs, and she kind of gives you a wink, Dane, as she kind of moves on to go deal with other customers. And Calmert comes around the table here, and he picks up a stool like right next to you, Absalom, and sits down. And almost as soon as he like gets comfortable and places himself in the seat, he stands up like almost immediately and looks to you, and he says, "I'm sorry. I don't mean to be forward. I don't mean to be rude, but may I sit with you?"
Please sit, brother comrade.
You may.
Hello, I'm sorry, everyone, but this is my seat next to me. I think I should be the one. I'm just kidding, of course. So take a seat, please.
Huh.
This
you
is
flirting with him
Dane, and
too?
Go ahead.
Are you flirting with him too?
I'm flirting with him. No, and he's not exactly my type.
Oh.
I'll
Oh,
introduce
what is
everyone.
your type?
I choke on a bit of rum when Chris says that. But hey, well, you see, this is your Agria. She's
I'm a
this is
darling.
Dane.
Nice to meet you, Dane. Nice to meet you, Yoragria. Some of your names, and he looks to you, Dane. He's like, I'm familiar. Not many
I've
dwarves
been
here,
to their church a couple of times. It's small, but it's nice.
and of course the church is very appreciative of your gift to young Miss Elena, and she seems to be getting along quite well, adjusting to things such as they are.
The girl that was rescued when her family was killed.
Yes, it is a tragedy. Fortunately, we have put her up with a loving family. Um, the cook and the caretaker of the grounds at the church. Um, they should be able to look after her until she is old enough. And then you have set her up with enough funds that she may prosper into adulthood. And of course, we are seeing to her studies and such as well. Um, but it is not the welfare of Miss Elena that I have come to approach you with. Um, you see, I um I I'm looking for a group of adventurers, and I know some of you, and I know something of all of your reputations. Um, I'm being instructed by the head cleric of my church, Canon Turjan, and just this term is going to come up quite a bit, and so just to kind of explain, canon is sort of like a title or an honorific. It's kind of like calling someone father or pastor. So anyone that's kind of a priestly sort, and it's not. I don't know if someone that knows more about Greyhawk can explain this, where it comes from or whatnot, but it doesn't seem to have any tie to alignment. Like even priests that maybe worship a evil aligned god may be called canon. So he tells you that the head priest of the Church of Saint Cuthbert, who goes by the name of Canon Turjan, um, has enlisted him to find a group of adventurers, um, to play out some duty, some purpose in the service of the town, and the specifics are kind of um, not even apparent to Calmert, but he's been instructed to find you, to assure you that there will be pay that goes along with the task, and yet you are to arrive at the church to get further instruction from Canon Turjan.
Right now, we're eating, drinking.
Well, I don't
Brother
mean to.
Cuthbert, will you join us?
Well, I suppose I have not had my breakfast. I think there is some degree of urgency to the task, but I think that we could commune here around the table for a bit.
Some degree that you might not eat.
He says,
It's religious types. They tend to be focused.
Religious or not, you do not skip out on breakfast.
but that
This is true.
seems to be quite wise. Please, I don't mean to impress upon you any time limitation. Please take your time, of course.
Thorvald, how are you feeling after your incident last night?
What incident?
you know.
Oh, you're referring to the eight rounds of beer? Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. That stuff happens every other day. It's normal. Brother, do you want a cup of beer? Share with us?
With a full
It's
of
breakfast.
ale.
Oh. Sorry, go ahead. You agree. I didn't want me to interrupt you. I apologize.
You're okay. He was a fool of the ale. Never again.
What do you mean? Ale should be had at every meal.
I absolutely agree.
Breakfast, second dinner, first dinner, second supper, first supper.
Ale is not something to be consumed at every meal. You must have water.
You obviously haven't hanged around many dwarves.
No, no, dwarves are not my forte. They're way too short for me.
So just a little update here. We got a bunch of stuff rolling in from the chat. We've got Shady Bonsai just bought buy a player a reroll. So we add a reroll here to the pot. Ed just redeemed buy everyone a reroll. So we throw 5 rerolls in the pot. So you got 6 sitting in the pool there. And then Ed also bought the DM a reroll. Oh, thank you. While you're all talking here during this breakfast, Udo, would you please give me a perception check?
Yes.
Okay. Um, you're just kind of looking out at the sea of farmers and construction workers, and you notice that the carpenter, Ron, is over at the bar. And you remember him. He was quite friendly with you. You sparred a bit down, kind of at the grounds, the camps where the construction workers kind of live. You know, they party, they work hard, they party hard. They invited you to have a couple of drinks around the fire, and you kind of proved yourself as a pretty accomplished wrestler, I believe it was, or a boxer. Boxer, that's what it
Yeah.
was.
And I noticed him over at the on another table.
He's just he's up at the bar.
Ron was his name, right? I guess
Yes.
I'll just shout over to, hey, Ron, come join us. And Brother Cuthbert, we're having breakfast.
And Ron comes over to your table here, and he says, "What's going on, Udo?" And he's got his big clay mug in his hands. It's got a steamy beverage in it, and he's just drinking. You can see his mustache is um, just kind of heavy with the moisture of the coffee that he's drinking. We haven't
Oh,
seen you down by the campfire in some time. You know, the boys, with everything that's going on right now, you know, they're not under supervision. So uh, if you ever want to get into another boxing match, there's plenty of action going around.
ooh, that sounds very exciting. I'll definitely be coming down there to throw some fisticuffs.
Considering he is the only one of this group that likes to completely destroy things.
Absolutely destroy things.
Ron says, "Say, have you heard anything about any progress on what might be happening to our benefactor, the wizard?"
Oh,
Now,
you mean Spugnoir?
Yeah, he doesn't
at this
really
point, does
strike me as the person you'd put on a case like this, but I suppose there aren't many wizards in here in Hamlet, those that might have the knowledge to reverse a thing like that.
I was gonna
Fair,
say,
though.
does the townsfolk know that he's petrified? I guess everybody knows about it.
At this point, yeah, everyone has heard. It's kind of small town gossip, and there's probably some tall tales going around about what exactly happened. I don't know that people know the full details of exactly what happened, but they know that he's out of commission, and there's probably some that even speculate that Rufus had something to do with it. That the two best friends had a squabble or something, and Rufus created this elaborate ruse. The townsfolk are prone to such. Um, oh man, what is happening?
We got a reroll.
Well, we got a reroll, but did somebody redeem a wandering monster? Let me know
It
because
did
that's
not show up. It did show up in the chat, but damn it!
okay.
Can be denied.
Okay.
A
I
rat
blame
burst through the
Winston.
window.
So let's push pause right here because we are going to do a wandering encounter right now. Udo, you had done a perception check,
Hmm.
and what you failed to see was that among the patrons of this bar here is someone that looks familiar to you. Someone that you spent a good amount of time with in Verbobonk when you had a pretty big bender. And you did not spot Sir Gerald Layton, who has lost his position as a Knight of the Heart and is now um, going on simple wagon runs as a mercenary. And so he's stopped off here in Verbobonk. And he has moved right up to you, and you're engaged in this conversation with Ron, and he's like point blank right here in front of you, and he's about to just deck you in the face. And so,
Oh.
give me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Let's do this.
So this dude basically arrives to Odo and just punch him in the face. That's what we see.
Yeah, you just see this guy look like he's dressed
Wow.
he's dressed in like kind of ruddy armor, like it looks like it's like caked on with dirt and such, and his cloak looks like at one time it was very regal looking, but it's just soiled and muddied. And this guy just
How
like
far he's
walks
fallen.
right up to the table and just is like right hook to Udo. And let's see, what did you roll?
Oh, not well.
Sorry, this is like a random thing, so I don't have like a great token for him. I would make a good token for him, but
Yeah, I think
um,
me and him went out partying one night, and the night ended, I think, with us urinating on the boots of a holy man.
yeah, and he's a holy warrior, and so he like peed on the front doorstep of. Well, it was the front doorstep, but the man opened the door, and like one of the high-ranking priests of Verbobonk was right there, and the two of you were peeing on his feet as he was in his bed his jammy jams. So you rolled a 6 here. You take 4 points of damage as he just clocks you in the face.
Ouch.
And we'll roll initiative here. You don't have to like just to see. We're gonna handle this by initiative just to see like what everyone's reaction to this is and what y'all are doing. Um, so thanks, Aiki, for the random encounter within the first. Well, we're still in the little prologue here.
Might I ask how to roll initiative on this?
Yeah, so in Foundry, do you see like on the right hand side, you know how you have like it's like the dice roller and whatnot? Up at the top,
Mhm.
do you see a little icon that looks like a fist?
Yes.
Click on that, and that'll bring up the combat tracker, and there should be a little D20 um,
Roll it.
but
Okay, okay, I see it. Yeah.
and another helpful hint that might not be obvious,
Oh, damn.
if you right click on that fist icon, you can actually pop that combat tracker out so you can always be looking at it.
Oh.
It's amazing how well our rolls are.
Oh man, mine
Really fast.
sucky. Mine's real
And
bad.
of course, the dude goes really fast. They're bananas.
That's exactly. It's perfect.
Perfect.
Oh, I think I rolled before we had the combat up, huh?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, roll again, Udo.
Want me to roll it again?
Sure. Unless you really want like your earlier roll.
No, it's fine.
Okay. This is good. So you beat out. He had a 19. So with 20, you're first to act. So what would you like to do, Udo?
You know what? Because I feel like when we left this off, like I feel like I remembered this as us being buddies,
Yep.
and he was mad at me, so I think I'm just gonna be like go to hug him, like bear hug him, and be like, buddy.
All right. And of course he doesn't see it that way. He thinks you're like hooking him up or you're gonna grapple him. So he's like resisting your hug. Give me a strength athletics check.
All right.
But you got him. You're like really excited about this reunion. You wrap him up, and he's just like stuck in between your arms, and
Oh man.
you're probably jabbering in his ear about the last time you saw him and the good time you had, and he's just looking at you. And he's like, "Shut the hell up, you son of a bitch! I lost everything because of you." And then he's gonna go and try to like headbutt you. This will be an attack. It'll be at disadvantage because you got him wrapped up. 12 likely misses.
That misses. Yep.
Okay. So you can see he's trying to like just knock you out. He's trying to wrest himself loose from this hold, but you still got him there. Calmert just kind of shifts uncomfortably in his seat, and he's sort of looking at the rest of the party as if you know he thought you were just hanging out to have breakfast. He didn't realize that he's trying to figure out, is this part of it? Is this part of what we're waiting on? Do we intervene? So he just looks a little bit confused. And then we turn to Thorwald. What would you like
Well,
to be doing?
Thor was totally surprised by this. So I saw this dude punches him in the face. He bear hugs him, so he doesn't really know what to do. He's looking at Odo like, "What are we to do here?" In the meantime, I'll move next to him. If I can control it. Anyway, I'll move as closer as possible to Odo and just ready on action to help him basically grapple this dude if he so chooses. If not, I'll just not do anything.
Okay, sounds good. And I think right now, Udo, it looks you're like still like all in on the hug and
Oh
the.
yeah, he's a matter of fact. Since he tried to like headbutt me, like I'm probably thinking he tried to kiss me, and I'll probably try to kiss him on the cheek back. You know. Oh yeah,
Sounds
I
good.
love you, man. I miss you, man. All those good times, man. You lost everything. What'd you lose? Let's find it.
My dignity. And you're laying a big wet one on him. Dane, it is your turn. What would you like to do? You might be
Oh, I think.
muted.
Oh, Dane is just gonna sit there and he's just thinking that it's two guys having a good time, old friends. And until things get more serious, he's just gonna hang out, finish his
Okay.
breakfast.
Continuing to eat at the table, dinner and a show. Um, Absalom, anything you'd like to do?
Oh man. Yeah. So Absalom is gonna similar reaction. He sees Udo, and he's gonna lean over to Yoagria and just be like, "Hey, it's a typical Iridian custom. Bear hug, headbutt. The whole thing. Nothing to do here, and just keep eating."
And your Agria, anything that you would like to do?
Um, I think as my character, I rolled so low. I'm probably just going to just grab a mug and like throw it like wimp baby throw it just so whenever like I'll try half the hard.
Okay. Is it like you're like throwing some like, juice or something on him just as like a like to
Yeah.
diffuse somehow?
Yeah.
Okay. Um roll me roll me a dexterity check. So what you'll do is when you open up your character sheet, just hover your mouse over the word dexterity, and then you can click that, and then say it'll ask you what type of check. Click ability check.
Okay. And then is it normal, advantage, disadvantage?
Normal.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So you kind of like throw some of the liquid over there. It splashes on the man's, it probably gets a little bit on Udo, but he doesn't seem to mind. And you kind of soil a little bit of Sir Gerald's uniform there, and some of the people and some of the farmers and whatnot are kind of intrigued or interested. There seems to be kind of like a gathering of sorts, sort of around the perimeter of your table, of people just kind of like trying to figure out what's going on, and whether they should be intervening. Udo, it is your turn.
So I think, yeah, I think what Udo's gonna do is he's gonna continue to like hold him, in his bear hug, but in a friendly bear hug, and sort of in the way that he kind of head butted me, me assuming it was a friendly gesture from Verbabonk. I'm just gonna do the same kind of headbutt to him.
All right. Let's make it an ability check. So give me a strength athletics check.
All right.
Okay. Um, you smack into him and like you hit him and he sort of flinches to try to get out of the way, but you still make contact and you smack him like right in the eye and you can just see the swelling like happening almost instantly. And there's like this big welt, his eyes kind of closing. Um, and he just looks like he just lets out this primal yell as he like winds up to try to like retaliate. So you still have him held?
Yeah, I think I'm
Okay,
kind of hold him in that hug and kind of like, yeah, with that deep, like, oh yeah, this is sort of what you do in Verbabon, kind of do it back, and
sure.
yeah.
So you end up doing a few points of damage to him. He tries to break free of your grapple. So give me another strength athletics.
Alright.
And he manages to break free. And I just gotta see if this guy, he does have multi attack. So he's gonna try to then he breaks free and then he's gonna try to like swing at you.
All right.
Can I intervene?
Oh, that's right. You had a ready to action.
Yeah.
What would you
I'll
like
just
the
give it.
nature of that intervention to be?
Yeah, I will just give him a disadvantage on that attack. That's it.
Okay, sounds good. So he makes this. He tries to take a swing, and as he goes to wind up and swing, Thorwald, you come in and you grab like his fist, and you just are like kind of holding it there, um, preventing that him from connecting with Udo. And he just kind of he looks over at you, Thorwald, and he's kind of gritting his teeth a little bit, and then he like lets go and he like kind of puts his hands up.
Yeah, so I let him go too. Cool off, man. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm sure we can talk this through.
He looks at you and he says he just starts pointing. He's like waving his finger at Udo and he's directing his comments to you, Thorwald. And he says, "You be careful and you stay away from that son of a bitch. He'll ruin everything for you. He's nothing. He's disaster. He's a walking disaster." And then he just sort of like kind of like irons out, tries his best to kind of situate himself or fix himself, and then he turns to like kind of walk away.
Oh,
Ooh, there's an insight check.
Oh, I was just for my own sake to see if I believe that he's a disaster.
Oh, okay. So players are rolling versus their own skill checks to determine their behavior.
I mean, it's pretty clear he is a disaster. So
Yeah, if I would have rolled low enough, I would have gone with it. But like Udo seems fine, so
So
he
I'm
just
like,
has a
oh,
drinking
I'm,
problem.
I'll send some drinks, buy the night some breakfast. I feel like Udo still doesn't really understand what happened, and he's still just thinking, oh, I bumped into my buddy today. This is awesome. What a great morning.
yeah,
Did you just not hear what he said?
Well, disaster, that means good things where I come
Disaster
from.
is a
I
harsh
like
word.
breaking stuff. Disaster is good. I'm a
Disaster is a
master of
harsh
disaster,
word.
You should take it as your pit fighting name, Udo the Disaster.
right? I think I will. What do you think, Ron?
well, it rhymes. That's usually one of the things you want going into any kind of conflict. Master of Disaster. I mean, it definitely will throw your opponent off. Feel like it will enable them to kind of underestimate you. So, good name.
I think I'll use it then.
If you boys are done playing around, maybe we should go down to the church and see what they want.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, I agree.
Calmer is just like kind of looking up from the table. And he says, "Is there going to be more of this along the way?"
Of course,
Probably.
always a little bit of trouble thrown in there.
You get the sense
Boys will
he's
be boys.
You get the sense he's kind of looking about the tavern to see if there's any other groups of you all that he could maybe go to, but um, it's pretty absent. So that you're kind of who he's stuck with. So
I hear Spugnoir is maybe available.
um, I wouldn't say that I'm quite at that level of desperation yet.
All right, then maybe we get going.
So let's zoom out here, just because for some of you this is your first time being in Hamlet. So I'll give you kind of the lay of the land here in Hamlet.
Udo's definitely gonna make a big scene on the way out. Like, see you later, buddy. Till next time. Love ya.
You can see Rhonda's like delivering the drinks, and he just like like swats it off of her tray, and it clambers to the floor, and like she doesn't really understand what's going on, but so yeah. So in Hamlet, I'm pinging the location. This is where the stumbling ogre is. This is where you're kind of emerging into the courtyard, and so Calmert takes you up the road here, up to kind of like the top of the map. You go over a bridge, over the river, and the Church of Hamlet is right up here. It's sort of on kind of the highest point of the village, overlooking it. Um, it is a building of relative. It's definitely newer than many of the buildings in Hamlet, um, although it is not fresh construction in the way of the castle on the southeastern side of town. Um, let me just get my spot ready here. So as you're making your way up towards the church, you make your way up the small rise and make your way to what appears to be an impressive stone structure. Um, an elongated two-story hall with four separate wings. Double doors facing the street provide access to an obvious hall of worship. Behind the church, you can see rows of weathered headstones that line a nearby field. And Calmart opens the doors as you approach and kind of waves you in. to the main hall here.
Does it look like this building has some military purpose? I mean, it's obviously a church, right? But does it look from the way it's built that it has a defensive purpose as well?
Make make an intelligence check, as you're kind of trying to assess that. So, as you're gazing around, you certainly don't see any like large-scale weapons, or there's no guards or anything walking about, and so to your eyes, it doesn't give you that impression or that feel.
Got it.
And as you walk in to sort of the main hall, um, it looks like this is likely the place where those sermons that he was talking about that happen on God's Day Eve likely take place. Although, um, depending on what your faith tradition is, it probably looks a little bit different than some of the churches of other gods in that there's no pews or anything. It's pretty um, quaint looking. Although there are some like stained glass windows here along the eastern side of the hall. Each of them kind of decorated in sort of a way that seems to be that each of them tells a tale, likely of some minor miracle that Saint Cuthbert himself performed. Things like healing wounds and tending to the poor and those types of things. You also notice, probably Udo and Dane maybe particularly see, that 13-year-old girl, Elena Shaw, who was the one survivor from her family who were all killed by gnolls. She was the one person that you were able to bring back here to town, and she's sort of a ward of the church at this point, and she's got a little watering can in her hand, and there's a number of like fern-like plants that are kind of on either side of the hall over here, and she seems to be kind of tending to them and watering them. And she kind of gives a little kind of meek wave to you all. She doesn't say anything, but acknowledges specifically Udo and Dane.
Yeah, I'll definitely wave back to her, and I guess if we're just kind of coming up on it, I'll engage with her, kind of find out how she's doing, and just kind of, talk to her. Certainly remember finding her hiding in a like a storage room, right? So, it's good to see that she's walking around and hanging out.
She says it it's good here. My adoptive family, they are very kind. Um, I have lots to do. There's a lot to be attended to here in the church, and lots of books. I'm getting on very well. I love spending time in the library, and she's kind of give me Udo, give me an insight check. Okay. Um, she just says, yeah, I really like spending time in the library. There's all sorts of weird books in there, books about the law. I think that when I grow up, maybe I could learn more about that. Go to Verbabank, become a judge, become a justice.
That's good.
We need more of those.
That's very good. If you need anything, just let us know.
And she kind of bows, and Calmert sings some minor praises of her, and all of the work that she's been doing here in the church since she's come. And he says, but I wish we had more time to sit together and talk and gather, but we must not keep Canon Turjon waiting. And so he continues further, opens up a door And you can all are you all able to? Oh, the game is paused, so you can't move your tokens. That's what's going on. Sorry. Um, so yeah, he leads you into the hall here, opens up a door into a small sitting room, and leads you up the stairs. So
Alex, I might have refreshed when you put us on the map. Can you make sure I'm on the right map?
okay, you
I'm
should
on
be.
Hamlet.
Okay, maybe try refreshing your browser maybe.
Again? Okay, sure.
Yeah, I had to refresh my browser.
Well, there we go.
So you can follow the Calmert token. He's going to take you up through this hall here. Up through this small sitting room up in the kind of upper west corner and up some stairs. I'm probably going to have to move directly your tokens up to where you're going because of the wall thing.
My map isn't loading all the way, so I cannot see.
Okay. Yeah, you could try refreshing your browser. That might fix it. All right. So he basically, I'll just bring you all kind of into the library here, which is where he's taking you. And so as you enter into the library, you just see it's kind of a circular room filled to the brim with bookshelves that kind of line the walls. And there is a desk kind of centrally located in the room. Um, and you can see Canon Turgon, a stern-looking man who wears a cloak of pure white over his chain shirt. And he wears, upon a chain that hangs around his neck, another one of those symbols, just like the one that's on the book that Calmert was carrying, the symbol of St. Cuthbert. He's sitting at the desk with an open book, which he closes as you enter, and he turns to address you, and he says, "Welcome to the House of St. Cuthbert. This building was established just after the Battle of Emridy Meadows, common year 566. Are you familiar with that conflict? Do you know of our history here in Hamlet?"
Of course. Very familiar.
Then you would understand these events that are happening and transpiring here in Hamlet. They're coming full circle. Those evils that we dealt with back then are once again resurfacing. I've
That's
summoned you
right.
here. Go
Yes,
ahead.
definitely full circle, and all of those exact evil things that was happening.
Hmm. Are you a learned man? Do you read many books, Absalom?
Of course. I read many books. Yeah, just today.
Liar, liar, Absalom, liar.
Oh, you don't know. You weren't watching me the entire time. I could have read several books.
In
Maybe
what, in the span
perhaps
of 10 minutes?
We had breakfast together. I didn't see you reading any books.
I didn't even see you read the news today.
I don't need to read it. I know everything that's happening in this town. Bah!
Oh,
I will leave it to you then. Please, would you mind educating us of the hero of Emridy Meadows and why we must seek him out now?
Well, I could, of course, but that would be rude. This is your house, and I could custom. The whole host is the one who shares all these stories. Otherwise,
Let me
yes, we take.
guess. That was Saint Cuthbert.
Um, I'm
Not.
looking at the cannon for like a hint.
He just he his expression. He's one of these like very expressionless kind of people. He's very serious looking, and so you can give me an insight check.
God
Um,
dang.
but it'll be a high DC on Canon Turgeon.
It's okay. I got a +1 in insight. So oh no, yeah,
You got this.
here we go. I would like to use a reroll. I'm just kidding.
he gives you like kind of no indication what he's thinking, whether he's amused, whether he's annoyed, no indication. But he kind of waits for
Of
you to
course.
kind of, you know, exhaust the end of your line of bullshit. Um, and he says,
Fair enough.
okay, so it would appear that our dear Lord Rufus has made declarations that he's going to bring back help from Verbobank to deal with these cultists, to bring back the children of those that have gone missing from our village. And while I appreciate his intentions, I put faith only in the teachings of St. Cuthbert. Salvation does not come from silver tongues and smart answers, it comes through action. We can learn a lot about what is happening here now today with the reemergence of this threat if we can know something more of our history. This evil traces its way all the way back to that final conflict that happened in the fields of Emridy Meadows, just northwest of here.
So you are wanting us to find knowledge? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes. Unfortunately, the knowledge that we seek cannot be found in books. I have pored over the tomes. They are scarce with specifics of what happened in those final days of the cult of elemental evil.
Well, then might you say that we have to find a person if we are not looking for a knowledgeable book?
In a manner of speaking, you're very wise. It is a person that we seek. No ordinary person, but one that was truly the epitome of faith in St. Cuthbert and his teachings. That man was named Certain. He was a cleric, and he led the forces of Valuna as a part of the righteous host, though that alliance of men, elves, and gnomes who came here to the region to confront the horde of elemental evil and drive it back to their temple. He was a member of the Citadel of Eight, an alliance of individuals that worked together to maintain balance between the extreme powers of good and evil. He died that day, and when he died, he took with him likely many secrets and insights that could give us an advantage against our enemy today. Obviously, it did not end there the way we thought. They are back, and we need to know what he knew in order to bring this conflict and rid this region of that terror. Make sure it doesn't emerge back to the same level of strength as it did then.
So we are looking for a dead man in his tomb with knowledge that he only knows. So might I ask how we bring about that knowledge?
If if his spirit knows that this evil did not die that day, certainly he may yet dwell there. Part of his being would be restless and may yet still linger on the material plane. If that is true, it may be that you could go there where he was interned. Maybe you could make contact with him.
Dane, you are a man of the cloth as well, right? Do you have
Yeah.
any talent or experience communing with such deceased,
What are you talking about?
like dead people,
Did you bring
ghosts?
your Ouija board?
That's it. Yes, Udo knows what I'm talking about.
I've killed a couple of people.
Yeah, that's the first part of the equation. So we're halfway there.
I'm not sure what you're asking. I haven't really been paying attention.
Can you speak to dead people, Dane? That is the question.
No, they're dead.
Okay, that was the question.
Captain
Perhaps
Terrigen, so you think that if we go to the place where this outstanding hero was buried, then perhaps his spirit will manifest to us and give us the knowledge that you seek? I'm sorry if I'm interpreting this the wrong way, but
that is my hope. Perhaps he won't speak to you, but maybe he'll show you something. Maybe he'll, in whatever way is possible, he'll communicate, whatever limited way that might be, with him, of course, being departed.
Do
Anything.
you have knowledge of how to bring upon this spirit, or are you guessing?
I can get you as far as finding his tomb. That, in and of itself, is no easy feat. Based on my research here, when he was interned, the king, Bolivar, the ruler of Furiondi, he commissioned a number of the gnomes of the Free Assembly um, to obscure its location.
So how do
Sir,
you know of this location, might I ask?
I have reasoned it out from a number of the books that I have poured over, um, some journals from people that were alive at that time. It won't be easy. Have to look for a sign of St. Cuthbert to unlock its location.
Well, should be easy
Okay.
enough.
And
Thorgold,
that
Dane mostly, bring about your diseased speaking skills if you have any, and your deathly hallows if you wish to have their icy grip.
And just to be clear, if we don't speak with the dead and we just find where the body is, we still get paid, right?
I understand that you are without your main source of income these days, with Byrne being in his state. I will, for this one time, be able to compensate you the same rate that he did, 50 gold each. Perhaps, who
Dame?
knows, perhaps Sir Ten could share with you some bit of insight as to how to reverse his condition as well. Byrne is, I wouldn't say he's a devout man of St. Cuthbert, but he is an ally, and he has been a friend of us, and I believe that his wisdom and knowledge of things to come is going to be invaluable. If we could find a way to bring him back, that would be most welcome.
Oh, we'll see
Cannon.
what we can do. But he's been dead a long time. I don't know if he's going to do much speaking.
At the very least, Sir Ten was equipped with holy relics of St. Cuthbert. At the very least, you might be able to find his tomb and bring those back, if not the knowledge that we would prioritize.
Dane,
So,
I have a question. Do you think your lip reading trick works on ghosts?
I don't know. I haven't tried.
Well, maybe I'll get a chance.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Cannon. You are probably knowledgeable about many things relating to life and death. Say that the burned statue were to be smashed. What do you think would happen to him? Do you think he would
If he were
die
to,
or turn back?
I believe that would be, well, I mean, as he is now, he is likely trapped, his soul bonded to that stone. He'd be as good as dead, maybe worse, because he would not be able to pass.
I'm just curious, just thinking. All this talk of ghosts.
yeah, so let's talk of ghosts. And he decides that he wants to destroy a statue.
I mean, I like to break it, I could break it for you.
We'll talk later, Udo. We'll do it. I think.
Yeah,
I'm not the
I
statue thing. I was
I would
hypothetical.
be I would be extremely like weirded out if I did not see a ghost at this tomb and we went through hell and monsters.
You will likely benefit from having one who is a faithful of Saint Cuthbert with you, and so I am sending Calmert with you to go on this task.
Oh, it's a babysitting job.
Oh, I
Does
hate
Brother
babies.
Calmer want to be with us?
Calmert says it would be an honor for me to serve my parish in this way and to bring glory unto Saint Cuthbert. If the knowledge that we can seek there might be able to round out the corners of evil in this village, then I will gladly do it.
And we'll
Can we
try
just
not to get him killed while he's out there.
can we make promises not to kill Calmert? Can we make
I'll-
promises?
Of course.
We're not going to kill
Promise
him.
not to kill him.
Or get him
But,
killed?
Now
well,
that
adventuring can be
Mm.
dangerous.
we can't help it if he gets
We are
himself
a
killed.
group. We should act as a group.
Calmert says, I may preach quietly, but I rest assured I carry with me a large cudgel at all times, as is the way of St. Cuthbert. I can handle myself.
Excellent. You'll be in the lead then.
Yes, lead the way, Saint Calmert.
We'll all be on the lead. This is a mission entrusted to every one of us. Everyone has a part to play.
Agreed.
And so it sounds like you're kind of all on board with heading out with Calmert to go and try to find the tomb of Sir Ten. Is there anything that you'd like to do yet in Hamlet? Any questions you'd like to ask Canon Turgeon? Any miscellaneous affairs that you want to attend to?
I'll ask the canon how he intends to fund us. Where is the money coming from?
Oh, well, we certainly um, have many of our followers tithe, and we keep stores of wealth for such occasions when there is great need. So it will be coming out of our coffers.
And if I succeed in this mission, I will give you back the money that you give me. You can use this for better resources than hiring mercenaries. I say this very whispering just to him.
Mm.
And he
Can I do an insight check on that?
You
I would
yes,
literally
love to
cannot
do
hear.
Sure.
an insight check.
but he could potentially read the lips.
That's true. That's true. It's actually whispering
So-
doesn't work.
Yeah, you could make an insight check.
Oh, I don't think.
You think, Dane, that Thorwald is it sounds like he's clearly saying something about money, and you think he's asking for more money. But Thorwald, as you're talking to Canon Turgeon, he says, "You will be blessed in the eyes of Saint Cuthbert. Know that he will be with you, whatever you encounter out there. Um, I hear yet of gnolls on the roadway. Be careful."
We will. Thank you for your blessing.
Anything else from anybody before you head out?
I'm gonna assume that since Dane said that he doesn't know how to talk to the dead, that Udo really thinks it's important to find a Ouija board in town or something of the sort before we leave.
Okay. So probably the place that you'd go to would be the trader's establishment. Um, and when you enter, there's a sort of large, man, kind of in his mid 40s, pretty nicely maintained goatee, wearing kind of a fur jacket, and he's just got kind of gaudy jewelry that he wears, and he's smoking a pipe as you enter, and he says, "Hello, my friend. Udo, is it? How can I help you today?"
We need to talk to the dead. I need one of them things, with the other thing you put on top of it with the letters, and then the dead be talking. You know what I'm?
Absolutely. Of course I know what you are talking about. Um, I am intrigued, though. Who is it that you are to speak with? Who is the deceased?
Ah, you know, just some dead guy we gotta talk to. Uh, I
It's a
forget.
guy that has knowledge
Yeah, yeah.
that we need.
We need
Who's
we need to we need to talk to somebody who's dead to find out something they know so that we can know it.
that we don't all
Udo?
die. That's it.
Udo, I'm not sure we're at liberty to discuss the details of the mission.
Oh, that's
We did
you know
not
what?
give name. We did not give name.
He's probably right.
Well,
It's Burn. We're trying to talk to Burn.
Burn. He's not dead. He's merely
Well,
petrified. This sounds like
but
something
the
more juicy.
no, Burn is. Don't you know? I just got done talking to a very learned man, very wise, who told me that when you are petrified, your soul is held in some sort of nether limbo world that you bound to the stone itself, but you can speak to them as if they are dead. No, it's a true story.
You bring such wisdom into my shop. For you, I will give you a good price on something that I think will help you. Um, you see him kind of like go over to a one of the shelves where he just has like miscellaneous stuff kind of piled up. It's like out of the way of like all the organized like the weaponry and the farming tools and whatnot. But he brings to you like this pack of cards and he says, "Now these, I picked these up off off a nomad who said that these cards might be able to give you an insight to the other side, to those that have departed beyond the veil. They can share with you their secrets, but you will have to read and interpret them. Each card has
Dane is
upon it
just going
a
to start laughing and walk away.
For you, my friend
Well, I
Udo, I sell you these for 2 gold.
well, I am very good reader, as everyone knows here, has witnessed many times. So I will take the cards. Udo, would you split it? We 1 gold each.
Yeah.
No,
Because I'm buying this 100%. Like, I am convinced that this is going to, like, this is my plan. It's coming together. Nobody knows how to talk to the dead, and Udo is convinced, like, I have the plan. Nobody else is taking care of this but me.
I
And
just
and
want to.
Absalom.
I just want to point out. I say 1 gold. We have no idea if these are real dead talking cards.
Euragria, make a intelligence check.
I think we sorely miss.
Hold on. I'm pulling it all up. Having a hard time. Okay.
I think our. I don't know about Udo, but I know Thorwald and Absalom are not the most intelligent. Oh no. Oh, no. Are
You're
we all
like
-1 on intelligence?
Euragria, you look
Yeah,
at
I
these
believe so.
cards and like they have elaborate artwork on all of them. Like one of them has this like mermaid on it that's like playing a harp. There's another that's just a like a large galleon out at sea with a crew of skeletons. Like it's kind of funky artwork.
I mean, Udo's definitely going to wait until after we purchase it to ask if there's instructions with them. But We're definitely buying it.
Does it look like this deck of cards is worth 2 gold pieces?
You can make an intelligence check as well.
Let's see.
Yeah, not too bad.
So
Ah.
you're looking them over for value, but as you're kind of flipping through the cards, you're seeing that in the corners, like kind of stylized in the art, are numbers, and at one point, like a little kind of crown, and then like a tiara. Like this is a deck of playing cards.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no. I say we buy for 1 gold. 1 gold, max. 1 gold.
Udo, my dear friend, when I was soldiering in Verbobok, the guards at night had decks similar to that one. I'm not sure they were talking to dead people, but they were definitely talking to beer and alcohol. So up to you.
I mean, but these ones are from nomads that said they could talk to the dead. It's up to you guys. I mean, Absalom's splitting it with me. If he's not into it, we can let him go.
All I'm saying is you may buy a deck of cards, but if they do not work, Gilligria does not agree.
Well, you're
Cool.
definitely. I mean, Udo's parade is definitely getting rain. Like he was all excited. He's definitely not as excited about it
Udo.
now.
Udo, look at this. There's skeletons on the galleon. Of course, these are magical.
Okay, that's it. We're buying them.
The man takes
Let's
your
do it.
coin, and he says, "Always a pleasure doing business with you, Udo." Were there any other novelty items that I could look around in my back room for you? Other needs that you have going out to speak with the dead?
Do you have any salt?
Oh, for what purpose? You can't use, if you're wanting to use salt to, um, as a protection against minions of the abyss, you can't use mere table salt. You have to use very special kind of salt. Yes, I
No,
have
it's
it.
for my rations.
Oh, yes, I have normal salt. I charge
I
you
want to
10
like
copper for a bag.
I went to we kind of just like scoot over to Dane and be like, if that fur coat ain't stolen, then I ain't a tiefling.
Dane wants to talk to Thorwall.
Well, it's amenable.
I understand you were looking for a shield.
I was, but unfortunately, I don't have the gold pieces to buy one.
You can borrow mine.
Really?
If you're amenable to using one with Maradin symbol on it.
I'm amenable to use any shield with any symbol on it, especially if it's blessed by a god.
All right, and he's going to give you 10 gold too.
What? I'll just take the shield. Thank you.
No, it's fine. You take the money.
No, I don't need it. I just need the shield. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. He's looking at you like he's really impressed that you're giving me a shield.
Well, I'll take the money.
It'll go in someone's pocket. Any other shopping that you'd like to do before you depart?
Can I buy a grappling hook? Is there something that I could find in this place?
Yep. He's just one second. Let me look up because the prices are a little different in Hamlet. So
Sure. Fancy ground or whatever this thing is. Foundry deleted all my gold, so I'm not sure how much I actually have.
Oh, I'm sorry. So yes, this is a good time to maybe remind people, if you're ever going to like do any purchasing or deduct gold, try to do it from your D&D Beyond sheet versus the Foundry sheet, because
Yeah.
of the way that the data gets imported, any data that you put in directly into Foundry will get erased when the import happens.
Whoa.
Um, grappling hook. Anyways, Winston, use your best judgment that on where you think you were at. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
Um. Okay, so grappling hook is gonna cost you 3 gold.
Okay. I'll
Not
take
so
it
much.
without any debate. And I'm just gonna say I had 50 gold.
Okay.
I think it was, something like
Probably
that.
more, but
Yeah, it's fine. Absalom probably lost it because he's dumb. Just probably just dropped it. Where's that Spug Noir with my bribe?
Okay. I couldn't hear any of y'all.
Oh. The character or the person?
No, I couldn't hear like any of you. Like my sound and my audio to you guys went like completely out. So
Oh no. You're great. You're being so quiet. I bought the grappling hook.
And we're ready to go. Unless you need to buy anything else.
no.
all right. Well, we are at kind of like the halfway point, more or less, of our game here. So this might be the convenient time for us to take a little bio break and refresh and whatnot. So we're gonna go on break here, folks. Thanks for hanging out. Looks like there's a lot of people hanging out with us here, so that's cool. So stick around. We're about to kind of move into. We'll head out to Emridy Fields and see if they can't find um, this tomb. This tomb that appears to be something that might be somewhat hard to find. So we'll be right back about maybe 10 minutes or so. Hey everybody, welcome back. We just hit the halfway point here in our community campaign game for the evening. This is the 20 Sides to Every Story community campaign where we play some games with the folks that support the channel by means of our Patreon, and then just people that enjoy the stream. So we try to play with the people that kind of watch us and have been watching the streams and getting to know the characters, and then say, hey, this would be fun. I want to get in on that too. So if you're watching over on the Goodman Games channel, hello. We are our characters have just left Hamlet. They've been tasked um, with a mission from the head priest of Saint Cuthbert in Hamlet. Um, the characters don't really know what they're getting themselves into exactly in terms of they're trying to make contact with a spirit, a champion of the past, someone who died during this big battle that took place some over 40 years ago now, when the horde of elemental evil was at its prime and at the height of its power. Um, Fortunately, like I say, some 40 years ago, the nation of Furiondi, the theocracy of Valuna, the gnomes from the Cron Hills, and the elves of the Gnarly Forest, they all came together um, and were able to band together and help root out the cults that had kind of embedded themselves in this area. And there was sort of a big conclusive battle that happened at Emridy Meadows, and you've all learned that there's a tomb, a sort of hidden tomb somewhere in the region of Emridy Meadows where this warrior of Valuna, Serten, has been interned. And it is the hope of the head priest, Canon Turjan, that if you could find the tomb and you might be able to make contact with the priest or with Serten and maybe learn something about his insights, his knowledge about what they did back then to kind of deal with the cults. And so, 2 days journey. It's autumn, so these are kind of cool, crisp days. But weather plays nicely for you. If it starts raining or whatnot, these dirt roads get quite difficult to traverse. So fortunately, nothing like that happens, and you manage to make your way to this region, which is known as Emridy Meadows. Um, as you veer off the dirt road and you start to move out into this area, it's for the most part pretty flat ground with areas of bluffs kind of throughout, and so there's sort of these these ridges or these elevations that kind of rise up at different parts throughout the field. The other thing that's kind of striking about Emridy Meadows is there's sort of like on the southern side of it, right before it starts to turn into the more hilly countryside, are a number of copses of trees. These um, little meadows, little groves that sort of seem like they sort of almost make kind of like a barrier between Emridy Meadows and the hilly terrain due south towards Hamlet. And so, can Calmert, um, you can tell as you start to like kind of move out into this expansive field, he's kind of looking about and he sort of levels with you at this point. He says, you know, we don't have a lot to go on in terms of how we might find the tomb. We could be out here some time, but I think what we are looking for, we are hoping that St. Cuthbert might guide us, that he might use his hand to kind of show us the way. Um, anything that we can all keep our eyes open and look for such things that might signal a clue.
Hmm.
Well, I hate to break it to you, my friend, but I don't believe in gods. I think it's all
Then
a.
you, sir, are a fool.
Oh, Dane, I'm sorry. Yours excluded, of course.
The Allfather will show us the way. I'm gonna cast as a ritual detect magic
Okay.
and
I'm gonna
see
step
if
away
I
from
can
him.
find any magical essence in this area.
Okay. So detect magic will kind of give you, sort of a radius around you that would be able to pick up any magical traces should you come within proximity of them. How about the rest of you? Any specific actions or things that you'd like to be doing as you start to comb through the fields?
Torvalds will use his survival skills to see if he can find any trace of the passage of summer recently or anything else that really stands out in this field.
Okay. Give me a survival check. Okay. That's a pretty bad roll. But you have 11 rerolls. So, just putting that out there.
Reroll.
Reroll?
Reroll.
Okay, reroll then. I mean, I can't do worse than one, right?
Oh!
You could
Do
you could
better.
do the exact opposite, right?
Holy
So,
moly.
um so this 22, this is the highest you could have gotten on this check. Um you're basically looking for tracks and whatnot. And this is I'm going to come back to you, I think, with that. Um because I just want to see what other people are doing before
Yeah,
I
I'll wait.
describe that part. Because this is basically, I'm asking you for like what you're doing over the course of like hours because it's that expansive, right? Um, so we'll come back to that. Let's see. Absalom, is there anything that your character would be up to, or specific things
Yes.
you're up to?
Yeah, when I see Dane doing detect magic rituals, I will scooch away from him and say, I'm going to take a look around. You all can dig around in the mud or something. And I'm just going to, like, yeah, with my horse, Vashti. And I'm just going to take a big, like, gallop around. And I'm actually looking for something that looks untrod, like where people are not going, because I'm looking for, like, something hidden.
Okay. Absolutely. Give me a perception check.
All right. Well, almost as a 20. It tried to be a 20. I'm gonna stay
Use
with
a
that.
reroll.
No, it's funnier.
You're gonna stay
Okay,
with
all
that?
right, I'll
Okay.
do it. I'll do a reroll.
Reroll.
Re-roll. Re-roll. 16.
That's better.
16. Okay. We'll come back to that as well. Udo.
I think Udo's probably going all in on the cards. So Udo's probably going to pick out the coolest looking card that maybe looks like it could find or commune with the dead the best, and is just going to kind of like hold it up and kind of like, like when you're weirding water. Have you ever seen people weird water? Kind of
Yeah.
trying to do that with the card to try to find the tomb.
Okay. What do you think the art on that card looks like?
Um, Well, does it? Any of the cards have a ghost on it?
Yeah.
How many? A couple?
Well,
Does he has options, or if there's just one with a ghost, we're gonna go with that. If there's a couple, it'll be the ghost that looks um the most like it wants to tell us something.
it's like it's like the king card, like it's like the king of spades, but it's like the ghost of like some deceased scion. So very regal kind of looking.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and I'm just gonna try to weird the path to the tomb with it.
Okay.
And when I get my detect magic spell up, I'm going to look at his deck of cards and
Oh, it
see.
absolutely does not detect as magical.
Okay, I'm not going to tell him that.
um, I don't even know what check to ask for. How about just like a wisdom, just a straight wisdom check? Like
Uh,
you believe that this is leading you somewhere.
okay.
Okay. So Udo's just kind of, you do to a certain degree believe that it's leading you somewhere, but you're just kind of walking in kind of a squiggly line aimlessly forward. Um, yeah, Dane, what you okay, you were casting detect magic and you're kind of navigating around doing that. You're Agria, what are you up to?
So, just like Thorwald is looking for, I believe it's Thorwald, yes. I believe it's Thorwald's looking for passages, things like that. I want to be able to look for anything dead, any dead animals that might have been around, because most of the time, if people are traveling, they run into issues with animals or anything like that, and they have to combat with that. So I'm looking for dead animals, anything that leads the way towards a certain area.
Okay. Um, I think that could be either nature, could be survival. I'll let you pick.
Mm, I'll do survival.
Okay. So, kind of as you're searching about, you'll be able to find the remnants of all sorts of dead things of various age. Once in a while, you're coming upon like, um, kind of buried, like really buried in the dirt, but like little remnants of like a piece of a deceased horse, or at times, um, something that seems almost like a piece of bone from a very large, like a wing, um, and even some humanoids' bones. Um, Most of this, to your eye, is old, like been here for decades, and maybe is only like kind of poking through or showing because of the weather has kind of unearthed it, right? Um, Thorwald, you notice as you're kind of combing through here, and you eventually like you're checking out kind of closer to a particular copse of tree. This is happening like 4 hours into your search. You you spot this boulder. There haven't been a lot of rocks of this size in the area, but there's this boulder that kind of catches your eye, and you notice that it has an etching on it.
So I point to the party and point their attention to the boulder and see if anyone can spot the action without getting too close first.
And sort of simultaneously with that, Absalom, you were kind of looking for kind of anomalies in um, maybe the way the grass was growing or different things, and you find like a patch like that, kind of in that same general direction of where that rock was pointed out, just to the north of it. There seems to be sort of this like flattened out, like there's grass there, but it seems like it's depressed or like there's something resting on it.
Okay, I will like signal from across the field, and that there's something else going on, and I'll go in that direction.
I
And
kind of want to just follow what's happening around, see if I can spot anything from a distance, point it out as well.
sounds good. Udo, you're like somewhere out, like in the field, like wandering, like way off course. But you do hear them kind of calling that they maybe have found something. But it doesn't seem like it's in the same direction as your card is leading you. Leading.
I'll yell
Well,
out, "Your card is working, Udo! We found it!"
well, that was going to be my first question. Is it in the same direction? But it's not. I guess I'll head towards where they're all calling towards. So yeah, I'll head towards the commotion.
Sure. So you start to head out that way. Thorwald, you're kind of pointing out this boulder, and what you see upon it is sort of this like circular um, depression in it, and it looks very much like the symbol of Saint Cuthbert, the imagery that you see on Calmert's book, the same thing that you saw on the holy symbol on Turgen's neck.
So I gather the attention of Brother Calmer, and I say, the point toward the etching, and say, how about we put your nice holy symbol in that depression?
He nods, and he kind of you see him kind of grab the facing of that book, and he grabs hold of it. It more or less is a holy symbol that he kind of twists. And it seems to kind of unlock out of the position of the depression in the book, and he's holding it in his hand, and he puts it right into that etching, that outline. And as he does that, Absalom, you see right where you saw that kind of flattened out piece of grass materialize this stone structure um, that appears to be the tomb. And it
Materialize
has
as if it were invisible, or is it like come out of the ground?
it materializes essentially as if it was invisible. Yeah, like it just kind of like becomes like
Mm-hmm.
material. And I'm gonna throw us up on a different map here. Um,
The
I
tomb is
I
the ghost.
I couldn't figure out how to get the scaling or whatnot to work on this. Can you guys see the map without having your tokens on there, or is it not like that?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Black.
It's just a black screen.
Yeah, black so far.
Okay. Let's see if I can release that somehow.
Their way turn off like fog of war or something like that.
Yeah, maybe that's what I gotta do. Does it? Can you see it now?
It says you do not have any token with vision.
Okay. I'm just gonna
Just
drop
put
your.
us on there and we can see it. Oh,
Yep.
you just ignore the scale.
Yeah. This is really just so you can see the map.
Yeah. Oh, you could have dropped the overland marker. That's fine.
Oh, does that work? Yeah. Oh well. Let's see. Who am I missing there?
You are missing Thorwald and Udo.
Thorwald.
Wait, no. Udo's right there.
Okay. So this is like where the boulder is. Oh. Another wandering monster.
Ooh.
Who did that? Who did that? I gotta figure out how
Right
to
the
fix
right
that because
time.
it's not coming up in the chat. Who? We need to have someone to blame.
Well,
There
I
needs
will
to be
say that
accountability.
Isaac cheered, and usually cheers precede
Ah,
bad things.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Oh.
Jenna. Thank you, Jenna. We'll have that matter here in a second, I think. So, um, so as it materializes, you can see it is a very, um, very carefully constructed tomb. The stonework is masterful, and the door that would lead into the interior of the tomb is smooth. There's no handle or lock, but engraved on its surface you can see another symbol of Saint Cuthbert.
It appears we're on the right track.
Does the impression does it fit another impression in there? Are we able to put another rhinestone or whatever it was?
Yeah, it looks like it's relatively the same size as the holy symbol, and Calmer kind of looks to the symbol. He points to the symbol and he says, "Shall we try our luck at this again?"
Do we want to check on the door just in case if there's any traps or any deadly?
Of course,
Sounds
it's
like a good idea.
and lucky for you, I am an expert in traps. I saved a bear from one once, so, and I will. There you go. I will scooch up to the door and pull out my thieves toolkit and kind of like look and see if there's anything like any tripwires or get like the little like mirror out and like try to figure out if there's anything problematic.
Make a investigation check.
Oh no. Uh-oh. It looks fine. Or actually, maybe it looks dangerous.
Are you holding with that?
I'm gonna hold with it.
Okay. So as you're kind of checking it out, um, you've got your tools out. You're kind of combing over it, right? Kind of trying to like, figure out, maybe you've got, yeah, like your mirror. You're kind of looking for things. You don't see anything visibly wrong with it. Um, maybe you then pull out like kind of a like kind of pick tool to kind of like feel if you can kind of snag any kind of like tripwires or whatnot. And as you do, um, you can see that there's like a symbol on the door that wasn't there, like that. It's like another um, emblem of the holy symbol, but it's not the depression up above. It's almost like a phantom symbol that kind of like flares up this like just white light, and you can give me a dexterity saving throw to see if you can take half of this damage from the glyph of warding.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
This could be bad. You said dexterity?
This
Yeah.
is definitely bad.
All right. Saving throw. Normal. And 23.
Okay.
Good
You
job.
Like
end
I
up
see another
taking.
symbol. Maybe it's another god.
Oh, thank
You,
God you made that.
you end up taking 11 points of radiant damage. Is this more than half your hit point
Yes.
total? Okay. Make a DC 13 Constitution saving throw.
Whoa.
All right. See, is this more fun?
Okay,
15.
you made it. So you see it light up, like it's not an instantaneous thing. So you have enough time to kind of like turn away from it and duck, and so it, like kind of the heat of this radiant light burns like a fire, but it just kind of gets like your back and like kind of singes the back of your neck and part of your scalp.
It was trapped.
Whoever
I
And
took the
disabled
thing,
it.
and
whoever
sort
took
of
the thing,
like simultaneously with that happening, the rest of you see the depression that was the holy symbol up above kind of disappears, and a mouth emerges there. It looks like the lips just kind of like form and mold like right out of like the stonework. And I don't know, it's some kind of like Jim Henson kind of thing where it's talking to you and it says, it recites this like kind of poem and says, I'm certain you know thy name. Speak the same in order to gain.
I'll just say, Absalom.
Isn't that the guy's name? Certain? Certain?
yeah. But he said it in the himself, so it's kind of suspicious. I am certain, blah 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 blah. So what do we say certain again? That would be too easy. But we can
But he
try.
asked us to speak our own names, right? Absalom. My name is Absalom.
You speak Absalom to the door.
Yeah, yeah. What I said was that. Yeah, I said to the door.
Nothing seems to happen.
So he said, I am Absalom. You know thy name. Speak thy name to gain in order to gain, or something like that.
I just said I'm Absalom because I don't know. Not all of that went over Absalom's head. But like, it doesn't. It's broken.
Did
Could be
the
Cuthbert.
You declare
Norgia.
Cuthbert to the door. Nothing
Yeah.
happens.
And we
Great.
might.
What is your idea?
so maybe it's not maybe Satan is not like his actual like full name. If it's his full name, it might work. But Satan might only be his first name or his last name, but it might be like Sertan the Warrior or something like that.
The master of disaster.
What do we know? I mean, do we know he's called
Yeah.
Sertan and he was from Valuna and he was part of the Citadel of the Eight, but that's all we know, right? We don't know any other name or attribute of this here.
Thorwald, do you want to make a history check?
I'm not sure I'm proficient in it. No, I'm not.
That's okay. I'd let you make the check just so it'd be just a straight intelligence check.
Hey, not bad.
He didn't have he was not known by any other names, unlike some other warriors that have extensive, you know, titles and monikers and accolades that they attach to their names. Certain didn't really have that. Um, he was the commander of the forces of Valuna, but he didn't take all those stuffy titles like many of the others that were members of the host of the righteous. Um,
So
Udo, I guess, is just gonna say certain, just see if that works.
and as you say that, the door kind of unlocks, and you can see that it little gap there. It's ajar. You could push it open and enter the tomb.
Oh,
I'm a
geez.
genius! I knew
We
it!
are ridiculous.
You are a genius. Because we're all
Absolutely
thinking-
ridiculous.
We're thinking of something else we don't know.
Sometimes
God.
the most difficult puzzle or riddle is the one that has the most obvious riddle because you say, there's no way it could be that, right?
Exactly.
Oh,
So
But the
Guys, I'm telling you, it's the cards that gave me the knowledge, because there's no way I knew that.
you're
Aye,
probably
it's the
right.
cards.
It's true. I'm gonna drink a healing potion.
I'm gonna drink a glass of ale.
all right.
Anybody
Yeah,
else
and
want some?
I'm gonna say that Udo's feeling so confident that he just did, he's the man, that he's just gonna walk like right in the door, like, look at this, guys.
So you
Oh
emerge
man.
and walk in. Let's see. I have to open this for you, I think. So as you gaze in to the tomb, the interior is stuffy and dusty. This has not been opened, maybe ever. Resting on a slab of stone straight ahead, a single chamber where a human male wearing plate mail, um, with a shield resting on his chest, is laying prone. Um, maybe I can. Does that help? So now you can see
Oh
it
yeah,
at least.
yeah.
I can kind of move like everyone's token just in there so you can see the room. This map did not cooperate with me, so apologies on that. But yeah, you see this must be the champion Serten, laying on this altar here. There are two statues in the room, one to your left and one to your right. Um, and they both um, the one on the left kind of holds a torch out. It looks like an ever-burning torch. It's casting light about the room. The one to the right seems to be holding a cudgel that's held out, kind of in the same position. Both of these objects kind of right over um, the body.
Well, it's not as easy as just waking him up from the dead, right? We gotta do something. We've gotta.
I mean, Udo's
Right.
already laying the cards out on over the body on the tomb. Just maybe he doesn't know much about using these cards, but probably setting them out like solitaire.
I can play solitaire. I'm impressed.
Let's see. I think I've got an image of this I could pop up for you.
I know you're probably meaning the slab, but I hope it's card deck. It's like, well, actually, that was the puzzle. You brought the right item.
You finished it, yes.
It's like those old point and click games.
Okay.
Udo, what do your cards
Maybe I
tell
don't.
you?
I'm not sure. I can't even read these. I think in the box is there instructions?
There are no
The instructions tell
instructions.
you how to
Well,
play
maybe
solitaire.
you got the little thing that's like, this is how you play Texas Hold'em.
You probably should have asked the trader how to use these cards before laying them out on a dead man's body.
Like such a good idea at the time.
He probably would have charged you to give him the instructions.
Very true. Well, let's see. If I know my mysteries, we go up to the torch and we pull it down, and it opens a secret passageway. I'm gonna go do that.
Ben, you're still are you still concentrated on the spell?
Oh, that's true. You got
The
your
detect
detect
magic.
magic up. You detect magic on the torch, on the cudgel in the statue's hand, on the armor that Serten is wearing, and the shield that he is holding.
What kind of armor is it?
It's plate.
Oh, nice.
Very, very ornate. Doesn't look damaged in the slightest. If this was armor that he actually wore in battle, um, it was probably restored or brought to its full majesty before he was interned here.
I will go off of a limb and say this might be the relics that Canon Turgeon was talking about.
Possibly.
Perhaps. But are we stealing from a dead man?
But he won't miss some.
He won't need
Well,
it.
I don't think you would steal from the dead man. You just need his knowledge.
I
So
think if I
what is the only thing? What's the first thing that should come off whenever you're taking things off armor-wise? It should be your sword and shield, correct?
Oh, I see where you're going. Yes.
Calmer,
I think the shield first.
you go up and grab the shield.
No, I'm grabbing the torch. I was.
Oh, you
like,
grab the torch.
I'm
It
just
comes out.
talking as I'm like.
Yeah, you grab the torch. It's an ever-burning torch. So it's not a part of the statue. You manage to grab it, and I don't know. We're not gonna do identify and all that crap on that.
No.
You can add an ever-burning torch to your inventory if you'd like.
Sure.
So Calmert says, so you bring up the the question of is stealing or taking these items okay, and he says, well, ordinarily yes, but our hope is that we might be able to gain contact with Serten if we could enlist his permission. I don't think that we
And
would
how do
see
you
that as
expect to
stealing.
do that? Should we pray to him?
Some
What if
sort of
I-
ritual.
Come on,
what if I
brother. Let's
put on
pray.
his armor and wear his sword and pretend to be him and channel his spirit? Would that work?
I mean,
At
it
this
certainly
point-
couldn't hurt.
I
am
concur.
a genius.
I don't think that any idea is completely off the table at this point.
All right, Dane's gonna go up to the body and start praying to it,
Okay. So you
asking
begin-
it for its assistance and guidance in dealing with the new threat of the temple.
Okay.
Thor will do that as well.
Now, might I ask, is he laying freely on this table, or is he
Yeah, it's like
like chained down, like made sure that he's not going anywhere?
not chained down. No, there's none of that. None of those precautions. He's just like very respectful, like flat on his back, face pointed up towards the ceiling, eyes closed.
Well, if you're
And,
going to, if we are going to wake him, so for say to get knowledge from him, we would have to find something that does wake him. So, what's the only thing that would probably wake a dead man? Probably trouble. Especially if he was in the army. If he
Oh,
was
I
a
see.
warrior.
So we put on a mock fight, a mock battle of some kind.
Sounds like
Like-
something. That would wake-
I'm gonna pull out my sword and be like,
So-
how about you? I am a raider. I'm coming to steal your life.
So, Calmert joins Dane and Thorwald in praying at the base of the altar there, and then Absalom and Yoragria, you begin to kind of play fight in the background. Udo, you've got your cards. Maybe you're still kind of shuffling through.
I think I want to what I want to do is I want to kind of do what I, or if I can, I want to try to put on it, if I can remove the body, put it down on the ground, and then put on his armor and his sword and his shield, kind of pretend to be him.
Yeah.
Kind of just meditate there and see if it comes to me.
So this is great. So this is perfect. We've got the three pious. They're trying the holy thing. They get down on their knees and start praying, trying to reach out to the spirit of Serten. Absalom and Yoragria, you start fighting. You start kind of making these sounds of battle, or what you think like a heroic battle might sound like in the background. And then Udo, you reach out to try to maybe begin the early goings of your plan. To take his spot on the altar here. And as you reach out, the body disappears. Absalom and Yoragria, you're play fighting, you're making these sounds of battle, and then you stop for a second, and you realize there are sounds of battle, but they're not coming from you. They're coming from outside. You just it's like you're sheltered in place and you just hear like the raucous noise buffered by the stonework that there's hundreds and hundreds of something out there fighting.
Guys, I think we have a problem.
What do you think happened?
I think someone might have followed us here, looking for the same knowledge of how to defeat us.
And they're fighting each other?
Yes.
Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I think we should probably take a peek, and if maybe we see a chance to shoot a few arrows at them, get a jump on them. What do you say?
I say we possibly I make sure that whoever's out there is not trying to come at us first.
Okay.
So we have the sneak advantage.
Oh, I see. So how sneaky are you? The other night I watched you moving around, and you seemed pretty deft on your feet.
Oh, I am the epitome of sneaky. I am the top tier.
Okay. Well, how about this? Why don't we make it a competition? See who can be the sneakiest.
Okay. Oh, challenge on.
All right, so I'm gonna sneak up to the edge of the
Mhm.
door and try to look out.
So, you look out there and you can just see like chaos. Like you're looking out at the same scene like where you were before, right? Like there's that copse of trees, you see the boulder, but it is unnatural feeling like it's impossible that there are this many combatants out there suddenly. You see out into the trees, you see gnolls riding giant hyenas with spears in hand, and they're like launching their spears into the bodies of gnome warriors that are kind of charging forward and bravely trying to hack and slash their steeds down so that they can deal with the gnolls atop. Many of the gnomes themselves have little mastiffs that they're kind of riding around on as well. There's just like this big battle that you see kind of playing out there in the woods. But you're as you crack open the door, you can hear there is all from your perspective, like behind where the back of the tomb is, there you can just imagine that there's hundreds and hundreds of people out there, armies probably clashing against each other.
I will slowly shut the door and turn around and say, "I think it's a bigger problem than we thought."
Or
Oh,
this or this is certain that is showing us as a portent replaying for us as a portent what happened that day that he died.
Could be that, or we could have time traveled.
we could have time traveled. If we time traveled, Jesus Christ. If I time traveled, then is he still alive?
If he is, then we should find him.
Well, then where would he be? He would be defending his place, right? Defending his honor.
I mean,
Do we know where he died at?
probably here. That's where they build a tomb, right?
It's a good
Well,
point.
then-
Who knows their history?
I don't know much history, but I do know what the priest said before we left. And he said something about circles and something over again. And if we are back in time, maybe we just see what happens and then we can learn what maybe that's the knowledge. Maybe, you know, if
Is
we
that
can get
the-
back, I don't know.
Are you talking
Your
about
cards
the
tell you
circle
that.
of 8?
Well, just he was saying something like it's happening again, and the past is the answer to the future, or something, right? I don't know. I'm not that smart.
I think you're right, though. Very astute observation there, Udo.
Suddenly
His
you
shield is
feel
gone at
this
that point.
like the shield is gone. Yeah, like the shield is gone. The statues are still there, but neither of them has well, Absalom, you still have the ever-burning torch that you took. Like that's still in your hand, but the cudgel that was in the other statue's hand is gone. And it's just empty-handed.
And what about the armor?
Gone.
Well,
The armor, the shield, and the body have vanished.
well, let's
And
go out. Let's figure out. Let's figure
He's
out
out
if
there.
he's out. Yeah.
kind of at that
There's a
that
battle
when you
going out
when you make
there.
that suggestion that you should go out there, you feel like this tremor, like something just hit the side of the tomb, and like you could feel kind of like bits and pieces of debris. You see a large crack kind of forming in the ceiling of the tomb.
Okay, we'll go
I
out.
would say that we
Let's
move.
go out.
Yeah.
So the six of you with Kelmert step out of the tomb into the open air, and you can feel the sun beating down on you as you enter into it. It's clearly a different time. It's a different season. The air here is warmer. It's much more like early summer than it was late autumn when you were combing through Emridy Meadows. And as you step out, all around you are the sound and sights of large-scale warfare. Um, Basically, take like the intro scene from the first Lord of the Rings movie, and like that's the type of shit that's like going on all around you. Those bluffs that I mentioned as you came into Emridy Meadows, there are both sides of this conflict have loaded those up with, you know, the forces of good. You can see human and elf archers just like launching wave after wave of arrows down into the lower plains where there's these big clashes of like orc ogre armies with humans in plate and chain armor, both wearing. You can see the emblems on their on the banners that the bannermen are holding. Clearly label them as the warriors of Furiondi and Valuna. Clearly in alliance against this horde of evil. Up on other bluffs on the opposite side, like towards the north, you can see spellcasters in ochre-colored robes. They're launching like fireballs down at the opposing side. They're summoning elementals down onto the battlefield to kind of bolster their forces. And so there's just it's almost bewildering for you all to come into the scene of just sudden large-scale warfare. It's overwhelming to your senses. But as you step out, you see in all the chaos of this fighting, this handsome-looking knight steps forward. He's on foot. Um, I'll throw his image up here. And he notices you and looks out at you, sort of with a knowing glance, like he recognizes and knows who you are. And he strides over at you with sort of this um, I'm sorry, someone's got like an open mic and I'm hearing a lot of kind of chatter. Um, so he steps out and he's looking at you. He's just beaming with pride and exuberance. He says, "Friends, glad to have you by my side here on this day. The day in which we will finally bring the cudgel of St. Cuthbert to our enemies and bring peace to this region once again. You've played a valuable role up until now. Let us go to the battlefield and drive this wickedness back to the temple where it belongs." And he doesn't even like give you a second to kind of respond or look at him. He grabs hold of his. He's got this like two-handed mace. No, that doesn't make sense. He's got a shield. He's got the shield. The shield. He's wearing the armor that he was wearing in the tomb, and that shield with the symbol of Saint Cuthbert on it. And he's got this mace in his hands. It's well, it's actually more. It looks very much like the cudgel that the statue is holding. It's sort of this gnarly piece of wood. It doesn't look all that impressive, actually. Like it looks kind of like an ordinary club. but it's kind of got welts and it kind of bows out and is sort of abnormally shaped. But he wields that and he goes charging in towards the battlefield.
Dane's going to follow him. He's going to pull out
Absolutely.
his warhammer and battle axe.
All right. How about the rest of you?
Yeah. Thor follows too.
Your Agria is going to cast the spell Entangled.
Oh.
Okay. So you're not like particularly in any kind of like combat or threat quite yet. Do you want to hold off on that until like you're in kind of a situation where you might be able to strategically place it and get a benefit from? But you're
Yeah.
ready to cast that.
hmm
Very cool. Um,
Gregoria, let's complete our competition, huh? I'm going to sneak out the door as quietly as a mouse and try not to draw attention to myself.
do that.
all right. Yeah, so you grab a stealth check. Um,
I
you
step
know,
on a mouse on the way out.
you will notice there are no Iridians in this conflict. Like the forces of Furiondi and Veluna do not have any Iridians with them. So even though you're creeping around and tiptoeing, like your visage is you attract attention to yourself one way or the other. So as you all kind of are merging forth and maybe with varying degrees of enthusiasm for joining the fight, following after Sir Ten, um, you see in all of this chaos, Certain points out a horseback rider that you see kind of galloping across the field in front of you. And he points out, Sir Gaon! He returns with likely information gleaned from Nulb. And you can see that there are these two griffins that seem to be in pursuit of him. And they're drawing down and they seem like they're ready to grab hold of him and probably yank him up into the air and drop his body if they were able to accost him. And he says, Hurry towards him! Protect him! He may carry for us information needed to end this conflict once and for all. And as he turns, you can see that there's a squad of orcs and ogres approaching from the east. And he says, I can handle them by myself. Please, your mission is to go. You must save and protect Gaon. Quickly now.
I am going
And
to cast Bless and
okay,
bless him.
so hold on one second because we're
Oh,
gonna roll into initiative here.
okay.
I just want to get the battle map set. Are you all able to kind of see this map? And
Hasn't loaded yet, but I'll let you. Yep, we can see it.
okay,
Well, I can see it.
Yeah, just pop it up.
all right. So one second, we'll get
Okay, got it.
this set up here. So you can see Sir Gaon is on horseback up kind of in the corner of the map there. Two griffins coming down, trying to bear down on him. Um, and then there are these. They're sort of like an incoming force, like a battalion of orcs and ogres and whatnot, coming from the east as we pick up there. And the wandering monster has not come into play here yet. This is all just the pre-planned stuff. So we'll deal with that here in a second.
I'm gonna make my next wandering monster time travel episode just like this.
hmm
You're sucked into the past.
That'll
Wandering.
that'll be our 500,000 EXP redemption. Like you have to go back to a previous episode and replay it. Replay that TPK from 5 sessions ago. All right, so strap in. This is going to be big combat here. We're starting off with this griffin that's trying to bear down on the rider. So The griffin flies down, tries to grab him with its claws. Makes an attack roll. A 13 is going to miss. Kind of simultaneously with that, it's trying to peck at him with its beak. And that attack roll is going to hit, dealing 12 points of damage to the veteran, Sir Gaon. All right, next up is one of the orcs that's coming in from the east. It's still invisible. Can you see these orcs?
Yeah.
You can. Okay.
These
So
guys are here.
yeah,
Yeah.
they were just invisible on the tracker, I guess. Okay. So they're
5.
charging forward here. 30 feet of movement. Uses its bonus action, uses its aggressive feature. As a bonus action, it can move up to its speed towards a hostile creature it can see. He notices you, Absalom, and he's got hate in his eyes. He maybe had some bad experiences with an Iridian in his past, and he's charging forward with his great axe, ready to swing. 13,
That
likely
will
miss.
hit.
That hits. Oh, all right. Here we go. 7 points of damage.
All right.
Not a
Friend,
big
what are you
deal.
doing? I'm not hostile to you.
Udo, it is your turn.
Well, seeing my buddy getting whapped here, I think I'm just gonna have to step in and whap back. Even though I should probably be going after the other guy, but I'm gonna attack this orc here with the one hand. So long sword. Let's see. Hang on a second.
So, Potato Lion, we're gonna give him this first round to just like play out the battle as it normally should be, and then we'll introduce the Wandering Monster. All right, that's a hit. So a swing with the longsword is 9 points of damage. That's more than its half its hit points. So he's going to have to do a Constitution saving throw. Monsters have to do it too. Fails it. I have a reroll. I'll burn my one reroll right here on his stun check. And then he makes it. So he takes the 9 points of damage, and he's looking mortally wounded.
And I'll swing with the offhand too, because he's got two-handed fighting. So let's do that again.
Reroll. Reroll.
You do have 9 rerolls.
You might as well use it.
Yep.
Use it or lose it.
All right, that's a hit.
All right.
And another. So this was with your is it action surge you were using?
No, it's just he's got
Oh, you're two weapon fighting.
two-handed.
Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
gotcha. So he goes down.
Good
Very
job,
nice.
Udo. But we have to go protect Sergei, remember.
But what are my friends?
Another orc comes charging into the fray here. This one going after you, Udo. Takes a swing with his great axe in hand. And that will
Ooh.
be a critical hit. I'll just take the double damage.
Oh,
Oh my gosh!
wow.
It's only
That
5 points.
wow.
Wow.
We're lucky.
Lucky call there.
We're
Um,
lucky.
Dane, it is your turn.
All right,
Wow.
Dane, seeing his mortal enemy, the Griffin, is going to run up to this one. And he is going to swing his Warhammer and then swing his battle axe at it.
All right, you manage to like swing that hammer and like hit like it's the piece of its leg that it's still flying, but really low to the ground, and you're able to like kind of swing up and hit it.
Does that hit?
16, yep, and 8 points of
8 damage.
damage.
And then I'll bring the battle axe down on top of him. And I'm going to wait a second.
Reroll. Reroll.
Okay, I'll use a
Do
reroll.
it.
Is this like a two-weapon fighting kind of thing too?
Yep, yep.
Okay. All right,
I
and with a
will
reroll, that will hit.
another 6 points of damage.
6 points. All right.
Alex, quick note. I actually had an armor class of 14. I forgot that I had my studded leather.
Oh, okay. Take those hit points back.
Yeah, just letting you know.
Orc comes up into the fray here. Goes for Udo. And that swing is going to be 14. That'd be a miss, Udo.
Yeah, miss.
This one moves up. So you got 3 of them on you right now.
Oof.
13 will miss. Thorwald, it is your turn.
Okay. We receive our orders. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And Thor will slash, will bonus action, it will rage. And then yes, try to hit the Griffin. Entering longsword. 15.
15 will hit.
Okay. Then damage. Normal. Add the 2 to that because I was raging. So that's a total of 8.
All right, 8 points of damage to this griffin here. All right.
I'm down.
Sorry, I forgot Calmert was here, so we'll bring him into things. He's going to cast. He's going to move up.
Your Agria was next, I think.
Oh, sorry. Let me get Calmert in here. He had a higher initiative, so I was just kind of
Oh, I see. I thought it was 10.
fudging where he was supposed to be at. I'll
No
put him
worries.
at an 11. So he's gonna come in here, and he's basically gonna cast a bless spell on Yoragria, on um, Thorwald and on Dane. So with the Bless spell, you get a D4 on any, I think it's saving throws or attack rolls that you make. And that is what he does. Euragria, it is your turn.
Okay. So I am going to move over to help Udo. So I'll just move right there. And then I'm just gonna go with my quarterstaff with this one. So how do I do quarterstaff?
Go to your inventory, and then you see where the quarterstaff is at. When you hover your cursor over it, there's like that little D20 shows up just to the left of the weapon name. You can click that, and then just kind of follow through. Yeah, you'll see it pop up in the chat. Hit the attack button, and it'll be normal.
Okay.
All right, a 15 will hit. So, are you holding anything in your offhand, like a shield or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay. So then, when you click the quarterstaff in the chat, just click damage.
Just push damage.
Yeah. When you
Okay. Just do normal.
Yep.
Ooh.
All right. So 4 points of damage to that orc there. All right. So you give him a walloping, little goose egg on the head, but he's still up and at him. The griffin up here, the one that is being attacked by Dane and Thorwald, is sort of turning its attention kind of instinctually away from Sir Gaon, and turns its attention. It can just feel the animosity that Dane is pouring onto this thing with its gaze, and so it
It's
goes
not animosity, it's hate.
this hate, yes. So it's going to try to attack you first with its claws. 20 to hit.
That'll hit.
7 points of damage. Then it goes at you with its beak. At this point, it like lands.
Oh,
It rolls a nat 1, which means I have to roll the d6 to see if this could maybe be a fumble. Just a miss. One of the other orcs is up next. 5, 10, 15, 20. It's going to go for Absalom.
What? All right.
It was going like
High
straight
plans.
forward. It was going straight forward, and then like, oh, an Iridian. Ah! And goes charging forward. Great axe in hand.
That'll hit.
16 damage is probably going to be bigger than my crit earlier.
I will use my Stone's Endurance to reduce that.
Sounds good. Sir 10 is up. And he's like, he's got the cudgel in hand, and he's just calling to you all, no, no, I can deal with the orcs. You must deal with the griffins. I'll hold the horde off. It's imperative that Sir Gaon stays alive. And he just starts swinging with that cudgel.
Hello to my face. As I'm hitting the face. Never mind.
That one doesn't quite get there. He's too busy trying to like micromanage that he misses on his first swing. The second attack hits, and oh, this one's looking pretty healthy. He'll throw a little smite on there as well. So smite damage. If the orc survives this, he'll have to do a strength saving throw. It's 11 points. He takes the orc down. And then he steps up to the next one and swings again. Hits. And deals a total of 11 points of damage. So this one's looking pretty bad too. All right, next up is Sir Gaon. He's trying to ride forth away from this griffin, so he's going to incur a attack of opportunity from it. And it hits him. Deals 8 points of damage. And I don't know, what's the riding speed of a horse? Like 50 feet, like a war horse.
50.
So he'll move like 100 feet essentially in this direction here.
60.
It's 60, okay, 120 feet in this direction. I probably could have found a better battle map than this tiny little one that I got here, but it is what it is. Absalom, it is your turn.
I was like, Udo, you're doing so great. You've got these guys. And I'm going to disengage after he saved my life. Go 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm going to get right next to, what's his name, Calmer.
Yeah.
And I'm going to like hide behind him and I'm going to poke around with my hand crossbow and shoot an arrow at this sucker. Oh, I bonus action disengaged from that.
Okay.
And then I'll shoot with my crossbow. All right. Doop. Zoo. Why is it only +2? Oh, because I suck. No, I'm proficient with that. That should be a +2. That should be a plus.
Should be
something
16. Either way, it'll
Yeah.
hit.
Okay. All right. Well, let me make sure the damage is right too. Whenever I do this, so then it damages. It'll get also plus a d6 because of the sneak attack.
Wow.
Full max damage. Wow.
14. That's right. So 14 points. Arrow goes right in. How do you like that, Dane? Huh?
So we're at the bottom. We're going to the top of the order, and just kind of like out of nowhere, sunny skies and everything, clouds, dark storm clouds, just like apparate almost like instantaneously. It's like watching one of those like fast, things before a documentary or something. They got to do their little transition scene. Like they just royal right above your head, and then it begins to rain. Just downpours.
Is the rain the wandering monster?
Sort of, because right in front of you and Calmert rises up this like creature that's completely composed. Like it's like all the water that's starting to just like instantaneously kind of puddle near the region of like where you're sitting there shooting your crossbow. It all just kind of pools and like kind of like starts to meld and mold together, and this water weird erects itself up and becomes whole and becomes a form that's ready to take the fight to you. There's your wandering monster. Throw that on the combat tracker. We'll see where it lands. Looks like it's pretty low on the tracker, so good news for the players. All right, Griffin is up first. The one that was chasing after Sir Gaon is able to catch up to him, and is just in pursuit. Udo, it is your turn.
Udo's not necessarily one to listen to instructions, and he's having a lot of fun just cutting these orcs down. So I think he's going to take a swing at this guy here. And that probably misses.
Would you like to use a reroll?
We got
Do
a
it.
bajillion, or
7.
We got 7. Go for it.
okay, yeah, might as well.
The chat'll buy you more if as long as you're using them.
Ah,
Oh, still a mess.
yeah. Well, he misses with the first hand. Let's go for the second hand. Same thing.
Ow.
Reroll again. We got 6. We're good.
All right,
All right,
do
let's
it.
do it.
Oh my god.
All right.
Roll me
I
a d6.
All right.
If you roll a 5 or a 6, we roll on the fumble table.
No! Jesus!
Oh my
Oh.
goodness gracious.
Oh no, Udo is drunk again.
All right. Let's.
That's a
How do
good
we?
question though. Like, who did somebody? Dane, you drank from your ale. Did anybody else drink any of it before?
I definitely did.
Thorvald did. Okay.
So what do I have to roll for the fumble?
Actually, I forgot. I bought these critical fail cards. So we'll pull. You wanted some cards, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Here we go.
All right. Give it a quick shuffle here, and we'll pull the first one here. Says off balance. All enemies that attack you before your next turn add a d6 to their attack roll.
Good
Ooh.
God.
That's not good. That's not good.
I'm about to get attacked a whole bunch too. I have a feeling. So hey, let's do this. Let's do this thing.
Oh man. All right. Next up is the orc. One of the orcs. One that's gonna take advantage. Oh no, this one's dealing. It just got hit by certain, so he's gonna deal with certain. Takes a swing with his great axe. Oh, and he actually hits the AC, so he deals some damage. Oh, big damage too. 14
Damn.
points of damage. Certain is still like he's like you're fighting so poorly next to him that it's just like rubbing off on him and throwing him off his game.
Does he have
Um,
to? Is that half his hit points?
no, fortunately not. He's got over 100 hit points, so he's good to go.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, Dane, it is your turn.
So same thing. Hit him with the warhammer and then the great axe or the axe. And I am going to use my divinity to add 10 to that roll.
That'll hit.
Okay. 8 damage.
8 damage. It is still up.
Reroll.
Do it. Do it.
Reroll.
All right,
Reroll.
I'll use a reroll.
Reroll activated. That will
It's
hit.
not much better. Oh, good.
Look at that spin. Nice spin. 7 points. All right. Still up, but it is just bleeding. It's oozing. Its feet, its legs are just cut up. And at this point, you've grounded it, and it's looking like it's about to drop. Orc is up next. This one's going to attack you, Udo.
Mhm.
So he takes a swing with the great axe and adds a d6. Yeah, he probably needs a d6. Does a 12 hit? I don't think so.
Nope.
Calmert is up. Mm, he's concentrating on the bless spell on Udo, Dane, and Yoragria. Absalom, you're hurt pretty bad, right?
I'm like roughly half health.
Okay.
Nine
He,
nine out of 15.
he is going to reach out and cast Cure Wounds on you.
I'll take it.
Oh,
I'll
what is that?
feign like I'm more hurt than I actually am to draw the heal. Like I am so wounded.
What do you mean he doesn't have any spells? I'm just, what is it? It's like a d8 plus wisdom,
Plus
right?
his wisdom, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
He's got a good
So,
wisdom, right?
fairly good. 4 points back.
Yeah. I have a feeling I'm gonna need it.
Thorwald, it is your turn.
Okay, Thorwald is still angry. He will try to get on the opposite side of the griffin, and then it'll swing at him.
Okay.
Actually, I had advantage. Sorry, let me roll that again.
Where's your
Okay.
advantage? Where does your advantage come from?
Uh, flanking the.
Oh, I don't use the flanking rule there.
Okay, then
But
disregard.
but you got the 15 on the first roll, and so that'll hit.
Okay, thank you. And then damage is
11 points. You take it down.
awesome. Then I'll move 30 feet toward the other one. It's not much, but better than nothing.
Yeah. And you can see, yeah, some distance away. The rider is trying to escape, trying to get away, and this griffin is just in pursuit. Your Agria, it is your turn.
Okay, so I'm going to cast Frostbite.
Okay. Um, if you point and click and hold, you can kind of like ping like that. You wanna show me which one you wanna cast frostbolt or frostbite on?
Oh, okay, so I want to cast Frostbite on the, no, this one. Hold on. Yeah, there you go.
One on the bottom there.
Yeah.
And let's see. It's a Constitution saving throw, right?
Yes, I do. So hold on. So it says yes.
Okay. So he fails. I'm sorry. I'm just going off of memory. Is it a D6? D6 damage.
Yes.
So go ahead and roll that. Okay, so it's 2 points of damage, but the cool thing about frostbite isn't so much its damage, it's the effect that you put on him. I think it's disadvantage on his attack roll, right? So I think Udo is going to be appreciative of that, considering he's got a lot going up against him here.
Yes.
Very cool. Um, so it becomes that orc's turn next. And so he's going to roll his attack with the great axe at disadvantage. And that swing. Okay, you got him out of a crit, but it's still gonna hit. Um,
Yeah.
12 points of damage.
I'm gonna use my stone's endurance to try to take that down here. So let's see, where's my frontiers stone?
Is that a D? Is it a D10 or is it a D12?
It's a D12 and then +1 it's given me. So 5, so reduces it by 5 to 6.
Well,
I got
that
10 of
keeps you alive, and I think it prevents you from having to do the con saving throw for the shock. So that's
Yeah.
good.
Yes, it does. That's very good. Yeah, so I think I have 4 hit points now.
All right. So Certain is up next. He's going to continue swinging away. First attack at this first orc here. Um, man, I feel bad for Certain. He's kind of looking sort of like a chump in this fight.
Oh, you suck, Certain.
He swings again. Second attack.
I'm certain that he's certainly not much.
That one will hit. Dealing enough to put this one away. Then he turns his attention to this one here. Swings with his third attack. And that one will hit. He's going to throw a Thunderous Smite on there. All right. And that's going to be enough to take this one down.
Nice.
And then he steps up and he kind of looks to you, Udo, and he says, "Go, go! I can handle this." And you can see like coming from the east, you can see that there's a couple of ogres, follow with an orc, seemingly led by the orc, who's wearing chainmail, and his chainmail is kind of decked out in a number of humanoid skulls and whatnot. And they seem to be much bigger bruisers, but they're coming in this direction. And Surgeon says, "Go, go! Uh, Deal with Gaon. It's paramount that he survives." Um, and then it becomes his turn. He continues to ride, you know, another 120 feet out that way. So he's like 240 feet off that map now at this point. Absalom, it is your turn. Oh, I guess, sorry. He endures an attack of opportunity. So basically,
Okay.
like what he's trying to do is the griffin takes multiple attacks. So if he just does it this way, he's only enduring the one attack. Um, but claws are out. Um, and that's a miss. Absalom, it is your turn.
All right. I am going to drop my hand crossbow and pull out my very much not cursed dagger and say, Galmer, look what you did. You caused this to happen. And I'm going to stab into the water weird with my cursed, not cursed dagger. Dang it, every time.
His eyes definitely go big as he like looks at the dagger that you like pull out.
All right. And I'm going to re-roll that.
Sure. Down to 3.
All right. 21.
21 hits.
All right. And that gets a D6 for sneak. 12 points. Does it seem to function on this creature?
Oh yeah, like it seems to cut through it. Like it's a weird sensation cutting through water, but you can almost see like the water almost like kind of whisk away, almost like that which is a part of its form just kind of bleeds out and just becomes like little droplets on the air that kind of fly out from its form as you slash at it and doesn't like recombobulate and absorb back into the main form.
Great. And so I will notice it happen, and I'll turn my head to see the orcs charging and say, I am still very hurt. Bonus action disengage and go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm gonna run over there. I'm kind of running parallel to the griffin, and I'm gonna signal out and yell as loud as I can to like, you know, to the rider to like cut diagonally so I can get a good shot.
Okay.
Well, that's what I
Was that a disengage away from the creature?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Where are we at? So it's the water weird's turn, and it is going to try to constrict Calmert. And makes its attack. Hit. No, does not hit Calmert. And that is that. So we're at the top of the round here. Um, yeah, Griffin's turn. The Griffin that's chasing after the veteran stays in pursuit. Udo, it is your turn.
Okay. So I think I'll start off by using a bonus action second wind to gain some hit points here. Which was not super helpful, but was helpful. And then I will have to disengage this orc, right?
Yeah, you would if you want to avoid that attack of opportunity.
Yeah, let's do that. And then I'm gonna head off to this direction here. And I think that's it.
Dane, it is your turn.
Bane, seeing the rider and Griffin elude his grasp, because there's no way he can catch up to him, is going to turn around and go, holy shit, what the hell's that? He is going to drop his battle axe and cast guiding bolt at this
Guiding bolt. Guiding bolt.
monstrosity in front of him.
And that's going at the water weird.
Yep.
That hits. Oh,
Nice.
19 points of damage. Nicely done. So next
And
attack on that at advantage.
my friend down here who is hurt, can I cast healing word or
Unfortunately, no, because the first spell was a leveled spell.
okay?
Appreciate the try, Dane.
Next up is Calmert, who is going to try to step away from the weird, incurring an attack of opportunity. Ooh, but a 19 is going to hit. You watch the weird's arm kind of reaches out, and as he tries to withdraw, grabs hold of him and hits him with 12 points of damage. He needs to make a con save for the shock. Does
Oh
not
no.
make it. Has to roll a d10 to see which effect. A 5 is like middle of the road. It's probably not quite 0 hit points, but let's see. So a 5 is stunned until the end of its next turn.
Oh,
So he like gets to right here because the reach of that creature is 10 feet. So this is the point when he took the attack of opportunity. So it looks like he was reaching out for you, Udo. He was going to try to cast a healing spell or whatnot, but didn't quite get there. Um, Thorwald, it is your turn.
yeah, Thor was trying to chase after the rider and Griffin, but with the speed of 30 feet, that's a forlorn hope. So it'll just double back 30 and attack the water weird instead. Actually, I didn't know I could rage in the through the thing, so I'll just use the
Sure.
ability so that it's official. Even though this is actually my third round, but I'm keeping tabs. And then I will attack with the longsword.
Sounds good.
And with a 23,
23 hits.
okay, damage here. And then add 2 to that, so that's 13 points.
13 total. Okay. You do notice with your non-magical longsword, it whisks away some of its form, but you're getting the feeling that this is like a kind of somewhat ineffective weapon, right? It's got resistance to
Yeah, I
non-magical
understand.
attacks. Um, but he takes damage.
Yeah, that's it.
Agria, it is your turn.
Okay, so I believe I'm just gonna go in with my quarterstaff, and um, I'm going for the water weird.
Okay, sounds good. So, just in case that last statement I made didn't make sense, so non-magical attacks against this creature mean damage against it are going to be half. So
Oh, okay.
if you can pull out something like your frostbite or another damaging cantrip or something like that, it may be better. But like
I have
totally do what you want to do. Just realize mechanically that situation is there.
um I could do entangle.
Sure. Trying to cast entangle in the area where the water weird is.
Yes.
Let's see. Dex is that a dexterity saving throw?
Yes, I believe so. Um
Oh, strength saving throw. Okay.
yeah, strength saving throw.
So strength
So
saving throw
let's see.
or be restrained. Here it comes. A 14. Your spell save DC is 10 plus your proficiency bonus plus your wisdom modifier. So just makes the save. So you see these plants sprout up, and but they're trying to grab hold of water. It's almost like the vines are trying to like soak up and maybe like absorb some of the water and like try to bind it that way, but it just doesn't seem to be working. I guess we should probably put a square. It's like a 20-foot square.
Does it become rough terrain or something?
I think so, or anything that enters into it like has to do that also.
Got it.
So I think it makes sense, something
Cool.
like that. You agree? Seem like the area where the entangle kind of happens.
Yes.
That keeps your allies
Yeah, it
out of
says
it.
20 foot to where it's it's hard for enemies to get in there. So, yeah, seems good.
Could use it for cover from those orcs as they come charging.
This orc to the south is trying to make an attack on Serten. I feel like I'm always trying to like add some kind of weird inflection to that because of the riddle. 19 will not hit. And then it is his turn. He's going to try to swing and retaliate against that one with the cudgel. Hits. Deals 12 enough points to take that one down. And then he charges forward. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He's like an ogre on either side of him, and then this orc leader that's leading them. He first turns to this ogre over here. Swings. Hits. And he'll throw... He's going to throw a branding smite on that. Ends up dealing a total of 12 points. So you see the cudgel kind of like light up and flare with radiance. Okay, and then he makes his third attack. Which hits and deals another 10 points.
He's found this ability now. Good.
He's got the distractions. He's like he likes to play single player. He doesn't do this multiplayer stuff. So now that you guys are out of his way, he's like doing awesome again. So Gaon heard you, Absalom. It seems like he's recognizing the strategy, and he is like kind of kiting this thing in your direction. So he cuts like basically 120 feet back towards you. So he's like 120 feet basically away from you at this point as he's cutting back. He's going to incur one attack from the griffin. Which misses him. All right, Absalom, it's your turn. The griffin's still like 240 away, but
240. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I would like to run 60. We have to extract it because of the map edge.
Absolutely.
But I'm gonna run 60 feet towards the griffin, and I'm sorry, 30 feet towards the griffin, or towards Guy. I forgot his name. I would like to try to use a bonus action to hide behind like a body or a cart or something.
Sure. Go ahead and do a stealth check.
Okay. Let's do it. Stealth check. It's a 15. And go ahead.
Let's just see.
And regardless of its success, I'm gonna hold my action on the griffin when it moves to be next to what's his face. I'm gonna shoot.
Okay. You're not stealth from the griffin, but held action and everything is in play.
Okay. Cool, that works.
Let's see. The water weird is. Let me look at entangle once more. In the area when you cast the spell.
I don't think he does it every turn.
I'm going to, never hold me to a ruling I make in any particular session, but for this one time, I will say that you can have additional effect on entangle at the start of its turn. That's not how it works, but we'll do it for this circumstance. So he'll do another strength saving throw as a result of the entangle spell, and he fails. So Yoragria, you see the vines and whatnot. It seems like the water that it's extracting from the form of the water weird seems to kind of bind it. Almost like that absorption, like that magical fusion of your spell and its interaction with this creature is binding it in place, and so it is restrained. Um, and it's it's still got Calmert though in its like it's pulled him into its form, and you can just see him kind of choking and like he's drowning inside the form of this blob of water that's just pounding him with this torrent, wave after wave. Um, and next up, I guess I never rolled these ogres and the war chief into the combat, so we'll just keep them at the bottom there. First one here is, I mean, they're all going after Certain. So, um, I'm not going to do all the rolls here, but there's a conflict that is happening with him. He's getting bludgeoned and whatnot. He can't defend all of his blind spots and whatnot, but he's standing tall and keeping himself in the fight. And that's going to bring us back up to the top here with the Griffin. It moves back um, so he's 120 feet away off of the map here, Absalom.
Okay. So, because I moved 30 towards him, so it should be 90 now. Is that right? Because I think what's his face is 120 away, and I moved 30, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
Whatever.
yeah,
Doesn't
yeah,
matter. I have disadvantage anyway. So, so I'm gonna
90
shoot.
feet.
I have disadvantage on this because it's outside of my range. 12.
12 hits.
12 hits.
Wow,
All right.
awesome.
Wow,
Awesome.
lucky shot. I'm like hiding over a corpse, but like not doing a good job of my hiding. I'm just like, tuk, and then this will get because he is next to what's his our guy, the runner. That'll have some sneak attack, and it will be 8 points. And these dice are abominations. I don't know if y'all are having them.
I don't know what
Little
happened.
like pips.
Yeah, I don't know why they're all of a sudden pips.
So 8 points of damage. That was my held action.
Sounds good. That brings us to Udo's turn.
All right. Well, I guess he doesn't know that his sword's not going to hurt this thing that much, so he's just going to run after this thing and attack it.
All right. You do have advantage because it's restrained by the entangle spell.
Okay. Awesome. So, let me do this. Okay.
And that hits.
Excellent.
Oh, just hit the damage on the longsword.
Oh, what did I do? Did I hit
It
attack
was an
again?
attack roll, yeah.
Oh, whoops. Hit the wrong button.
All right, yeah, so he'll take 3 points from that.
Okay, and then we'll do the offhand. Same thing. Advantage, right? On the
Yep,
attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and that's a hit.
Two more.
And 2 more. All right, it's starting to diminish. It's starting to go back to being the puddle that it was moments ago. Oh, we just got a raid for proficiency bonus. Thanks for the raid. Hey, Molfen. Good to see ya. Hope you guys had a good game here tonight. We're in kind of the third act here of our session as well. Big battle. They're playing kind of going back in time and playing out a little small sliver of the Battle of Emridy Meadows. So I think that was 2 attacks from Udo. Anything else?
That's it.
Dane, it is your turn.
Can I do a perception check to see if I noticed Epsilon running towards the back?
If you want to use your action to do a perception check to kind of survey different things, you can. Um,
It would be an
Absalom,
action then.
it is an action to do an ability check like that.
Okay, then I will just attack this monstrosity. What I'm going to do is drop my warhammer, pull out my dagger, which is magical, and I will cast divine favor on it as my bonus action and make an attack. Now, I don't seem to have added the dagger to.
If you just have to roll dice and like tell me what the outcome is, that's totally fine. Uh-oh, would you like to re-roll?
I will use the reroll for that, yeah.
You also still have bless on, just so you know.
Okay.
You don't.
So 18.
That'll hit.
D4. I think it's a D6 for the favor. No, it's a D4.
D4, yeah.
So 7 points of damage.
7
Is that your offhand or is that?
points.
That's main hand.
So you should add your strength and +1, right?
You said it's magical,
So
right?
+2, yeah.
Yeah.
So 9 points of damage.
Sounds good.
I see the dagger. You have a +2 dagger. Give that to me. I will kill you.
No, it's not +2. It's just magical.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Anything else?
Nope. I think that's my action, bonus action, movement.
All right. Calmer becomes unstunned. Thorwald, it is your turn.
I guess I'll try to finish this horrible creature here. Does a 17 hit?
Yep.
So the damage is 12, 6.
And with a swing of your sword, you hit it, and it just turns into a mist and sprays onto the grass beneath your feet. Gets soaked up and absorbed into those vines and thorns of the spell that Yoragria cast.
Awesome. And as a last thing, I'll look around to see what distance is the horse, but there's nothing I can do this turn.
What is your passive perception? It's going to be a little dampened by the rain that is falling currently, but
I think it should be a 12.
12. Okay. So you kind of glance around. You can see Serten, sort of up there in the front rank there dealing with those ogres. You look back. you can see the rider on the horse is coming back towards your direction with
Okay.
the griffin is following. So this little kite is working.
Awesome. Thank you.
Um, Yoragria, it is your turn.
Okay, so I, since this creature is done, I'm going to take my quarterstaff and kind of just run towards Sertan with it and try to make sure that I get as close as possible without like drawing any attention away.
Sure. Let's see. What is your passive perception? Okay. Um, in the distance, Yoragria. So it's raining. Like it is like dark. Like it was daytime earlier, and now it feels like you're in the thick of night with how much cloud cover you have. So and then the rain starts pouring, and like visibility is difficult. But you're watching Certain, and he's got the cudgel of Saint Cuthbert that he's using this weapon, and as he's been swinging it about, it there are cracks of light and radiance that kind of emit from it from time to time. And as that's happening, as he's hitting and he's using these smiting attacks that are bringing up this brilliant light. You can see in the distance, like straight to the east from where you're looking, something is approaching. A very lithe, thin form. You can't really make it out. It seems like it's probably some like 120 feet away yet, but every time it's like a crack of lightning hits, you see this silhouette of something that's almost like alien looking, and it's drawing closer.
Okay. Um, so I guess as a good teammate, I'm just gonna turn around and yell like, "Watch out, we've got something coming," or something along those lines.
Yeah. So that's a free action. You can do that, like kind of vocalize that. Anything else that you'd like to do?
There's not a whole lot I don't think I can do. I could try to use um Thaumaturgy or something like that, but that's all I think I could
Sure.
use.
Kind of like maybe that call back to your comrades kind of booms out a little bit more like forcefully, like we got we got ads.
Yeah,
Something's coming.
someone's
Uh,
coming.
Surten takes a couple of swings, brings down this ogre over here. I'm just gonna kind of, for the sake of time, kind of whisk through this a bit. Uh, Manages to take a swing on this ogre over here, and smites him, dealing quite a bit of damage. He's not quite dead yet, but he's drawing close. Um, Sir Gaon makes his way. I think I said he was like 120 feet off the map, so he passes by you, Absalom, basically, and like gets onto the map here with um, incurring an attack of opportunity from the Griffin. So 13 points. He's still up, but he's looking pretty rough at this point. He's taken quite a few lickings there from the Griffin. Absalom, it's your turn.
And is he actually right next to me?
I think you're like 30 feet off the map, right? Or did you come back?
Yeah, that was kind of the idea. I was 30 feet, so I would think I'm like 90 feet from the actual griffin.
Yeah.
Um, oh gosh, what do I do? I'm not. There's no way this griffin will just fly right by me and let me stab it. So I'm actually going to back up 30 feet to get right next to what's his name? I can't. What's his name again? I'm sorry, Alex.
Gaon.
Gaon. Yes, I'm gonna get right next to Gaon, and I'm gonna get out the dagger and my short sword, and I will if it's I would like to bonus action hide neck, like, you know, maybe use Sir Gaon as like a visual shield. And the concept is as the griffin flies in to swoop at Sir Gaon, I would like to jump out and stab.
Okay. Go ahead and give me the stealth check.
Okay. Dun, dun, dun. I'm just gonna keep that because we'll need those rerolls, I'm sure. So I'm like stumbling all over Sturgeon as he's riding by this horse.
And you got the ready action for the stab once
Yeah,
the
but
griffin gets close enough.
with the dagger, yeah.
Even observing its behavior, like it's basically like going in for the dive, trying to like grab at him with the claws, and then like emerging back up. So, um, being right next to him is going to provide you that opportunity you're looking for,
Got it.
even if it's not surprising. um, the ogre manages to, I don't know. We'll throw an attack roll in just to see. Does he hit? Um, he surprisingly does. You have to hit. He's got that magical plate mail on and the shield and everything, so he's got a pretty high AC. But ogre manages to ding certain here. And then the orc comes up and is very aggressively like crying out and furiously swinging with his great axe. Manages to get another lick in on certain. That brings us back to the top of the order. Um, Griffin is up, gets down, dives down onto Sergeon and Absalom. You got your readied action there.
That I will re-roll. Come on. It dives out, and I jump out and be like, "Ah! What am I doing this for?" So I don't become a ghost, and I stab him. And that will be sneak attack because he's right next to Sir Gaon. Oh, 10 points.
All
And
right.
that's my action.
The Griffin then sort of redirects as you stab it. It tries to go and peck at you with its beak rather than going for Sergeon. A 19 to hit.
That's going to hit.
5 points.
You call that a beak? I've seen worse
Little,
at that stumbling ogre.
little trash talk at the Griffin. Udo, it's your turn. You might be muted.
I am muted. I moved too far. I'm going to move up to him and let's give him the old college try. Misses.
You want to
Got
use a
one
reroll?
left.
You got 2 rerolls left.
Oh,
You know what? No, I'm not gonna. We'll save it just in case whatever ad is coming is a big ad. And let's just go with the offhand.
Hey, that's a critical
There
hit.
we go. All right. So we'll roll damage, critical hit.
All right, 15 points. Wow.
Kapow. And you know, if it's still standing, maybe I'll action surge
It
here
is
and attack.
bloodied. It's still standing. Oh, and
Yeah.
Potato Lion redeems wandering monsters, but also redeems by everyone a reroll. So you're back
Nice.
up to 7. Whose side are they on?
Yeah, I'm gonna action surge and I'm gonna attack this thing again. I want to take this thing out.
Yes. 13 hits.
Ooh, yay, okay.
A palpable blow, but is still up.
Alright, that's Udo.
Oh, Yoragria. you're looking out and you're still seeing kind of like the flash of lightning from overhead, the radiant light from Serten's cudgel, and that thing that you saw. Um, it's like horror movie. Like as soon as you see the radiance and like you get a good view of the landscape, it's like instantly like 120 feet closer. And at this point, it emerges and you see this horrific demon that stands probably some 18 feet tall. Let's throw up the image from the Goodman Games book of this creature. And it's a female form, definitely. Um, and its whole body just seems kind of elongated and alien-like. It's got eye sockets that are darkened, just basically little pinpricks like pilot lights of red light that shine forth. And its scalp seems entirely caked on with fungus and mold. Um, its arms and its fingertips are just elongated, very unnaturally, and kind of yellowish fingertips. And it seems to almost like point out at Serten as it draws close. Um, and it pulls out an object that it is holding in its hand, a golden orb that seems like it's molded to look like a skull. One notable thing you can see in the light that's like flashing is the light kind of reflects off this golden orb, and you can see in its forehead and either side of its temple. And you presume, based on the positioning of these gemstones, that there's likely one on the backside, and that would maybe make sense with the four elements that the cults worship. What little you maybe know about these cults, they worship fire, earth, water, wind. Each of these gemstones embedded in the skull seem to kind of reflect almost a coloration that seems to likely be kind of synonymous with each of those elements. And it pulls out this golden skull. I think I've got the image of the golden skull as well, so I'll throw that up here too. Um, maybe there it is. And each of the gemstones are carved in kind of a shape. The one in its front of its head is a star. One on the side that you can see is a triangle. There's one on its left temple as a circle. And, um, you probably can't see the one on the back side of the skull, but it produces this and points it right at Serten, who almost instantly the globe lights up. And you can see Serten's body kind of twist and contort a little bit, almost like he's being puppeteered by this thing. And suddenly he's not fighting these things in front of him anymore. He turns around, cudgel in hand, and he looks like he's against his will moving his way towards you, Yoragria. Dane, it is your turn.
All right. Well, I saw Udo go the other way, so I'm gonna look back that way. See the griffin. See a bunch of things attacking them. I'm gonna go over here. And I didn't see any of that.
You're seeing it right now. I mean, it's the same 6 seconds. So you see this alien creature holding out this orb and he's puppeteering Serten.
And would I know that if I do damage to him, I might break him out of it?
No,
Oh, okay. I am
doesn't
going
mean it
to
doesn't mean you're not.
attack.
That's not true, but you don't know.
Okay, I'm going to attack the ogre that he had damaged to begin with,
All right.
and I am going to cast Guiding Bolt on it. And hopefully get rid of some of the things that are attacking us.
Sure.
I'll
Reroll.
reroll that. So sad.
Oh man.
And do I still have
You
bless?
you do still have bless, so you will hit. Its AC is 11.
Oh, okay, so I don't need to roll it.
All right, 16 points to the ogre. Very good. Calmert is going to move up and kind of as the horse rider is moving by, cast a cure wounds on him. Having heard it's important that he stays alive and not really knowing whether your actions here in the past might be influencing the future. Not a great roll, but a few points back to Sergeon. Thorwald, it is your turn.
Okay, I'm trying to help people here with this griffin. So I'll move. I'm here and attack. And 17 and deal damage.
Yep, that'll hit.
And that's 70 points.
All right. Still up.
Yeah, and I'm done.
All right. Yoragria, at the beginning of your turn, before your turn starts, Certain is like walking towards you. He's like kind of stumbling forward, and he's looking at you with a look. Not it's not the prideful kind of like super confident look of the warrior that you saw when you first entered into this fight. He's looking at you almost like pleading like, and he's speaking. It's almost like he's under the effects of this thing, and the alien creature is still holding out the skull, clearly controlling him, but he's fighting against it, and he's trying to tell you something. And he says, "The skull! That skull! We never did find it. We never found the skull after we defeated her. They..." And he's just stumbling forward. He says, They didn't send her back to the abyss. They they imprisoned her." And he's just marching forward, but it looks like he's readying his cudgel, like ready to like swing at you if he gets within range. And then it's your turn.
Okay, so I assume because of all the prompting that the skull is the thing that's like has to be destroyed. So I'm going to pull out my quarterstaff, and my shield, mostly my shield, because I want him to come towards me, but I want to get him away from it so that whenever he comes away, I could go around towards that thing because that's the thing that's controlling him. I don't intend on hurting Certain.
So you're kind of trying to like almost keep your distance, kind of skirt around,
Yeah.
so you can try to get towards this demoness.
hmm
So you can like totally like if you want to like kind of move your token to kind of
Oh, okay, so
within your
I
movement.
guess
So each square is 5 feet. So I think you're 30 feet. So
yeah, right there should be good.
all right. So Certain moves up towards you, and you can see like as he's like bringing the cudgel down on you, he says, "The gemstones, The gemstones could help burn. And then he swings.
Okay, so I'm going to use my shield against him.
Okay. I think even with your shield in hand, 23 is going to bust through your AC. Um, and he rolls. He deals 9 points of damage, which I think is how many hit points you have. And if anybody's looking over there as certain hits Yoragria, she vanishes. Just like, poof, is no longer here in this moment in the past.
Oh, your
Uh,
Agria was disintegrated. We will get
Hopefully
revenge.
not. Hopefully not.
the Griffin takes its attack of opportunity on Sergeon as he strides away, misses. Um, and so he, pretty quickly after seeing the demoness there, circles around and tries to beeline it to the north. Absalom, it is your turn.
All right. I'm guessing I probably didn't actually see everything that's going on just because I'm preoccupied with this Griffin and just going to say, like, it's time to finish this thing so we can go home and get a drink and stop being time travelers. And so, dagger time. That's a hit, I'm assuming.
Yep.
All right. So I take the dagger out and swirl it around fancily, something like, and I'm gonna plunge it right into the thing's neck and do 12 points of damage.
And it had 10 left, so go ahead and describe how you eviscerate this thing.
Yeah, I plunge it right in the neck, and I realize like I was just kind of showing off, but I actually hit, and I'm a bit shocked, and I just yank it back and like just slit its throat.
As you do that, the rest of you, the Griffin dropped Sergeon safe. You turn around to survey what is happening, and you see Serten just clubbing Yoragria. She disappears, and then you see this alien form of this demoness. Her form almost seems to enlarge, and like tentacles kind of draw off of her, and she brings them up. All of them look like razor sharp, like vines and thorns, and she plunges them all into Serten's back. And he kind of lets out a yell, drops his weapon, drops his shield, and she pulls him upwards. And you can just see like he's just writhing in pain as these vines just kind of like dig into his flesh, into his muscle tissue, and seem to kind of take root there. Um, you see the light pass from Serten's eyes. This was apparently that moment in that battle where he was defeated. The history books, the logs just say killed by a demon. There's not a lot of detail on how it happened, but now you've laid eyes on what this creature is, and it's it's worthy of more than just that trite description, and it's sort of horrific and burned into your brains as you watch him die. And then you're pulled from this vision and brought back into the tomb. But this time, as you're pulled back, you can see the suit of plate armor is sitting on the stonework. You're Gria, you're there. You didn't perish just because you died in this this blip in the past, um, and you still retain the memories of what Certain told you during the fight. The shield that he bore was there, but no body, just the items. And of course, the cudgel is in the hand of the statue to the right. And as you come back into the tomb, the statue to the right that is holding the cudgel speaks to you and says, "Powerful magic should not be forgotten in a hidden tomb when it can be used against the rising tide of evil." And then the cudgel drops from its hand onto the floor.
I can't believe Certain was a murderer.
Probably wasn't.
Ugria, are you okay?
I'm okay.
What did Sir Certain tell you?
That the rhinestones on its head, if you've seen the rhinestones on its head, I assume that none of y'all came running after me. Um, but
Oh, Dane was right there.
true, true, Dane. Dane didn't come after me. Dane was not there. I'm really sad. But the rhinestones on its head apparently is something that might like help us defeat it.
We need to get you back to town so you can tell everyone what's going on.
Okay, sounds good. Um, where like what do we go from here? Like what do we take? Do we
Well,
take what
everything.
that like everything, or
Right.
do we only take back the knowledge to the main one?
You heard the talking man. He said, or talking statue. He said to take all the items out so we can enrich ourselves.
Calmer
We're fighting
sort of
the evil. We
solemnly
should use it to
nods.
fight the evil.
That's right. I don't know. Thorvald, what do you think about this? Do we take all these items or is that offensive? Or do we
Well,
care?
the Canon Terjan told us to bring back the relics of Saint Cuthbert's, and I think Certain would be in agreement that we bring it back so that the canon can decide whether or not to use them against the rising tide of evil, as the stage you put it. So I definitely agree.
Calmer
You're quite
sort of
wise.
nods and kind of points out that voice um, was Certain's voice, and he believes that you have his permission, you have his consent to use these items that he wore in battle.
Galmert, nobody was asking you. You were dead weight today. You should be thanking us for saving your life.
It's just
Calmer
if
says, no,
if
Calmer responds to that, and he says, you should be thanking St. Cuthbert that he allowed you to enter into this vision to get these clues as to how we were going to fight this horde.
I told you I don't believe when you're a saint. It is probably some sort of magical accident about that happened, but I will take the knowledge because it is freely given. You're Greya, you were saying something?
if uh if this equipment, if his armor did not help him with defeating this creature, then what makes you think that we will? With
And
with his same armor, if it was able to pierce right through it, what would the good be in taking his armor if it will not help us?
He was one man. We are many.
We are many, yes, but are we going to use every piece of his armor for every person? Or are we going to wear just one person wear his armor?
That's a good point. We really should just take it and sell it and use the money for something better.
I don't
Don't
think
think that's
that's
what he wanted.
Yeah.
I did not make that point to selling it. I just want to put that there. I did not say selling the armor.
Udo, what do you think?
I mean, Udo's been wanting to put this armor on since he saw it. So he's just gonna be like, I think I should take it because I'm the master of disaster, and I'm going to take this demon down with it because I'm a genius.
Honestly,
I think we should leave it up to the church to decide who gets the armor.
what about the compromise? We have to bring the armor to the church anyway, so why don't you wear it to the church? And then if they want to take it from you, and then we will deal with that problem when it arises.
Yeah, they can
Yes,
see
if they want to.
how good I look in it. They're never gonna want to take it off of me.
Yes, if they see you wearing the great armor, you will unleash master of the Master of Destroyer on them the moment they try to take it off of you.
So, but this cudgel, Dan, you seem to be handy with smashing things. Do you want to prepare it to the church and let them decide? I don't know if I'm the only one. Was I?
No, no,
you
I
break
was
up?
I was wondering if it was me too, but
Okay,
I think
you broke up there, buddy.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, we should take it to the church and let them decide.
All right, you carry the cudgel, and Thorwald, do you want to carry the shield?
I will carry until the church, yes, but I think the canon should decide what happens to that stuff.
I wink really hard at you. Of course, the church will decide.
Of course, the church will decide once, Master Destroyer over here decides for them.
You think they care about this torch? I light it.
So it sounds like we are basically here at the end. You successfully defeated. You had to defeat the griffins in order to for these items to reappear here at the end. So you managed to kind of get there right in the nick of time, and you have some gifts that you'll be able to take with you as you carry forward the fight against the cults of elemental evil. And you've learned something very valuable here on the battlefield. You've kind of learned what the entity was that maybe was the conductor, the orchestrator of all of this, and it may be something that no one could have expected, this demoness. Um, and it seems that that orb, that golden skull, maybe has something to do with undoing everything. It maybe has something to do with what could be in terms of a solution to dealing with Burn and bringing him back. So there is some good information that was gleaned from this. Definitely conversations onto and into the future as to what to do with that information, but those are questions maybe for future adventuring parties to deal with. So thanks everyone who hung out with us. Thanks for hanging in. Usually I don't have the stamina to play like D&D online as much as I used to, so I usually like keep it to 3 hours, but I don't know. Seemed like we were having fun, so thanks for hanging out for a little bit extra here tonight. This is our community campaign game. So if you're out there in the audience, basically what this is we do a lot of D&D and tabletop role-playing games on 20 sides, but this is our one campaign where if you're a viewer and you think it would be a lot of fun to kind of come and hang out with us and play a game with us, this is the campaign that you can join in. Every party is different. We have a different. It's almost like kind of like AL or Adventurers League or whatnot. You know, you might have a different party configuration every time. There's a sort of story that's kind of loosely kind of keeping us all together, but we've got in the Discord all sorts of channels kind of devoted to this. An RP channel where people are kind of playing this game offline even. So whether you're a viewer and enjoying the episodes and you just want to see what is the RP that's going along in the background, come join our Discord server so you can see all of that. I see Winston. Okay, you popped that up in the chat. So come hang out with us in between the streams there. If you want to play a game, um, you'll see the signups. We post those in the Discord when they come up. I always give our Patreon supporters, we got a Patreon. Those folks get the first chance to sign up. So you can go check out the Patreon and see if you want to support the channel on kind of a sustainer basis. That's where you can do that and get kind of the priority for the signups. But after I've satisfied the needs of the Patreon folks, we've always got open spots. We'll pull in people that haven't had a chance to play to come join us. So. But this is kind of a cool time for this because we're playing this next Original Adventures Reincarnated book that Goodman Games has graciously allowed our channel to kind of be the first ones to try out. Um, so so that's kind of cool too. So if you're looking to buy the book, it's releasing here in August, so it's on pre-order. If you got a pre-order in, you should be seeing that show up on your doorstep sometime next month, and I would imagine by the end of August you might see it pop up in your friendly local game store. So, I don't think I have any announcements for the weekend. It's probably going to be kind of a quiet weekend. Sunday, we'll have Ghosts of Saltmarsh back with us on Sunday night at 6:30. Um, and then next week we'll have a whole new slate of things to do. So, um, I think with that we'll pull us offline. Let's go throw a raid over to our friends over at Praetor's Rejects. So, thanks everybody. We'll see y'all soon.